Well, hello everybody, and welcome to the show today. Happy to have you here. Hopefully, you've all had a very good weekend. I know mine was quiet, but it's good. My boy's back from university, so my wife is certainly happier, which is good because she's a professional mother. It's her hobby. But nevertheless, I know a lot of the Americans are deep in snow right now. We have a nor'easter going on up in the New England area, and the California's getting hit with their El Nino. Is that what they call it? Well, it's a lot of snow, is what it is. So hopefully everyone's doing well. I think we have just Americans on here today. It is just Americans, isn't it, GOP?
I believe so.
Yeah,
S
we got a Texan
well,
and we got a couple of Midwesterners.
mhm. We haven't had too many, foreigners in a while.
No, we're not
Rabbit,
here. On my other shows, it's full of foreigners. Yeah.
that's true. Rabbit, we miss you, Rabbit, come back.
Right? No rabbit. We got a bunch of Canadians, Brits. We got Indonesians and South Americans and other Europeans. Yeah, it's cool though. That is the cool thing about the internet. You can communicate across vast distance. Nevertheless, we do have ourselves a new player today, and we're going to be taking here in the beginning a little bit of getting his character finished and getting back into our game, which will work out just fine. So no worries about that.
Hi, Dave.
I feel good. I'm glad Dave's here. First thing I'm going to do is get over and hit that like and share button. Let people know we are on. So let's see here. But other than that, GOP, how was your weekend?
Oh, it's, good, run a bit of running around. I got an actual proper desk set up now with a
Nice.
pretty big monitor, but there's an issue with my, computer, so I'm not gonna be getting the parts for that fully done, so I'm kind of just, uh, basically using my laptop plugged into the bigger screen to
That'll
share with it, just
that'll
yeah.
work.
Yep. So that's what I'm running on right now. But yeah, it's been all right.
That's cool. Yeah, it's good to have a nice rig set up. I'm one of those people that's always had a computer. I mean, since when they first came out, I think my first computer was a Toshiba, and that was in I don't know, 82,
Mm.
I think
Yeah, I've just been
83.
running with the laptop,
Yeah.
which I mean, laptop is actually pretty nice, but it's very small. So yeah.
No, it's laptops work just fine these days, especially they're way better than they used to be. I do
Mm.
have an old laptop. I only really bought one in my life, and then I didn't buy one again. Well, not for myself anyway. But that's a really, really old one. But it has the entire Adams Family collection on it, though, so it's still worthy.
Well, it must be protected at
It
all
must be.
costs.
Yes, yes. That was back in the days too, where you had to go hunting for that kind of stuff.
Oh,
These
now
days it's
everything is
easy. You know, back in
yeah.
the day where they had these little piratey things.
Oh, we don't talk about that.
Oh well, oh, fine. But it's so easy now. But
Yeah.
nevertheless, we are going to be getting back into Umbral, of course. Dave said we had an Atari 2600. Yeah, no, Atari was great. My first actual video game console was a Radio Shack Pong, and that was probably 78, 79, something like that. So yeah, and I mean, it was looking back on it, it's the stupidest thing ever, but boy, did I play the hell out of that thing. You ever play Pong?
Yes, I've dabbled in it.
Hmm.
It's still a bit before my time, but I
Yeah.
have played it.
Well, I used to go to the arcades and play pinball machines, and of course, then the video games started come out. I remember Dragon's Lair was really cool. And there was some other one where you have this flying character going all over the screen and you're shooting like these big balls of energy at stuff. I forget the name of that one. That was a good one. Tempest. Ooh, I love Tempest. Yeah.
I like
Anyway.
classic fighting games like Marvel vs. Capcom 2, but
Oh,
it's a
that's
little
way later. Yeah, I
yeah,
mean
way
Mortal
later.
Kombat, Golden Axe. etc.,
Mhm.
etc. But anyway, lady, hello. How was your weekend?
Oh, my weekend was great. Had a huge family meal, cost about $71.
Oh, wow, we're
But then
savvy.
my made my brother smoke the brisket overnight.
That which is nice. But
And right along with it came the acid reflux all night long.
oh, really? I
Oh, yes.
don't have that problem, but lucky, knock wood. But so now we're starting to price out home meals. It's gotten that inflation's that bad, huh?
Well,
Oh, yeah,
they gave
inflation's
my
fun.
sister-in-law X amount of months to live because her kidney stopped functioning.
Hmm.
And all the kids are from out of state are here, including her brother. I didn't know her brother was gonna show up, but he, showed up for spring break week. So he's here, so everybody had to sit down and no one argued, which was the biggest surprise of it all.
Wow,
But, yeah, but we had a good time.
that's good. It's good to hear. It's good that you can still afford to do those kind of things with what I'm hearing from inflation, for sure. But
Yeah,
we do have a new player here today. His name is Mike. Mike, you are muted.
Yes, I was aware. I didn't want to make any sound.
Oh, that's fine.
Can you
That's
hear me
fair.
fine?
I
All
can
right.
hear you fine. You are crystal clear. Mike, tell us a little bit about yourself, man.
I am Michael. I spend my time messing with computers and stuff. Just recently, been getting pretty big into 5e D&D,
Hmm.
and just seeking other platforms and people to play with.
Well, yeah, it makes sense. 5e, this current edition of D&D is really a very good entry point for people in the tabletop. But it's not sophisticated enough to hold a player's attention, unfortunately. If you are interested, Michael, in playing, a better D&D system, third edition, is probably you might want to look into that. But the fifth edition is a great introduction system, though. It is great for that, and it's brought a lot of
Yes,
people
it
into the
is
hobby.
easy to understand.
It is. This right here, I think, is easy. I don't know, GOP. Is it easy? It's easier, isn't it?
It's very simple. Like the character creation, just because so much of it is player generated, it doesn't give it to you automatically. That it can be a little more complicated at times just to get started, but the actual gameplay is very simple.
It is. It is.
So
So let me go ahead and reshare myself and bring that back up. We need to finish Mike's character here, so we should get right into that. So I'm going to bring this character back up and we'll walk ourselves through it again. This is just the character NPC I had created. But it'll be easy for us to see what we need to see. So let me go ahead and get over to it. All right. So now you have created your three distinction sentences, right?
Uh, yes, I'm just stuck on the social part. That's all. But I had something for it, but it didn't quite work out.
Well, what did you have? Let's work on it.
Well, I don't want to like copy paste what you got,
Hmm.
so I'm trying to like think of like other ways to say it, but I'm not really good with my words.
That's okay. I am. I can be helpful.
Okay, well, for a six, I'm going on that. I know I'm not studying for it, but I don't really want to be like the most spoken guy. Like,
Okay.
I'm not trying to convince anybody. I'm more of a person of speaking the truth, but I mean, there's ways around it.
Okay. So why don't you let's see. Read the other two to me real quick.
I have an arcane secret seeker, a dexterous umbral soldier, and
Hmm.
then I'm trying to think of for my other one for social.
Okay. How about a stalwart steel-eyed ranger?
A what? Stall?
Stalwart. Yeah, it kind of get or stoic would probably even be better. A stoic
yeah,
steel-eyed ranger. Person doesn't talk a lot, lets his actions speak for him. And we also have some other those words help to apply to different situations as well.
Okay, that works with me.
Stoic, steel-eyed ranger. You could change ranger with something else.
I think it'll work for now for an introduction.
Sure, I think so. All right, so what we need to do, as you see with this character, underneath those sentences, you need to write in SFX, which just stands for special effects. Now, to be fair, if I was creating this game, I would have came up with a different wording than special effects. But in this case, special effects applies to just skills. Like if you play a fighter and you have the cleave feat in D&D, right? This is what this is talking about. It's something that applies to your distinctions that gives you a little extra oomph, right? But just write that down under each one, and then just write down hinder, and I'll explain how to do that later. And then just put a slash next to, well, just write down hinder first. You get that automatically. All your distinctions get that special effects, and this is just an easy way for you to get PowerPoints, and you'll see about that in a minute. But two of these need to get their own special effect. Not all three, just two. Now you can add one to the third or another one to the others with experience points as well. But these things, you need to think of them as kind of like the feats or the class powers you got in fifth edition. That's what they are, right? They're not magical spells. They're not superpowers. It's not those come in later, right? These right here are just class skills, right? So if you look under this character's iron-willed occult detective mental distinction, I put umbral will. And that simply is when she's trying to resist magic or anything that is trying to come after her mental, right? That some kind of mental attack. She can she can defend against it. Now you name it every whatever you want. That's one thing I like about this game. You can put any name you want to things. It does not matter. All that matters is the dice and the mechanics, and that's a cool thing. But under Umbral Will, I just took the simple one, which is you spend one power point and she can step down a stress die. Easy enough,
Okay.
right? Stress is damage in the game, by the way.
Okay.
So two of them need to have these special effects on them. The second one I picked was for her physical, and I called it Wrath. And it's this is another way you can choose to power your ability. She steps her mental down to 6 for the scene, but her physical goes up to a 12-sided dice for the scene. So that's another way you can apply special effects because they have to be energized in some way, either directly with PowerPoints or with lowering stuff to gain stuff. So, what kind of special ability would you like your shadowy rogue to have? Probably something that is roguish, I would imagine.
Yes. I'm right now. So first of all, with like crafting, driving, flight, fix, those are all standard. They stay around 4, right? And then
Yep.
with my
Yep.
skills, let's say Umbral Will, it brings down one of your stress dies. So I can use that to bring up, let's say, fixing to give it a 5 or a 6. I
What do
mean,
you
not a
mean?
5. Uh, Trying to understand it better. That's all.
Okay, so
Um,
you don't worry about mechanics. Just tell me what you want to do. So you want to bump up your physical? Is that what you said, or your mental?
I would like to use it to bump up my mental.
Okay. All right. All right. So, in this regard, you could use the fact that you are an umbral. You are a paranormal character, like I did with her, Umbral Will. There's a little bit of supernatural going into that, even though it plays out mundanely. But yeah, you do the same thing I did here. Just give it a name, whatever name you want, but put it under the mental instead of the physical. and step down your mental and step up your step down something else. So maybe your social. Ooh, that's going to be rough. But
Well, he is. Yeah, he's not really the talker, but yeah, it's.
well, we did put stoic in there, so you know.
Mhm.
So yeah, you can just write it as step down social to a D4 and mental up to a D12, I guess, or D10.
I forget whatever you put it at. Just step it up one,
Yeah,
and
just
yeah,
one
step the
dice
social
up
down one for that scene. So
for the scene.
you
Yeah,
know,
and give it whatever name you want.
I'll name it Umbral Wrath.
Sure, why not? And then you need to choose the second one for either the physical or the social. Obviously, it's not going to be the social; it's going to be the physical. So
Yeah.
maybe you want to you do something in physical that you know applies to being a rogue. So maybe some asset for stealth or something like that, or
Okay.
notice, or stealth would
notice
make
is
more
always
sense.
good. Yeah, but they're both good.
And we're going to get skills in a minute. So.
Yeah.
And you for this one, just take the one PowerPoint to step to do something. You spend a PowerPoint to get something. So if you went with stealth, for instance, it would be one PowerPoint to step your what is it under your sneak up for the round for the excuse me for the
Or
scene.
the scene.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and we'll get to whatever that sneak number is here momentarily.
Yeah, I'm just giving him a broad name of what I want, then I'll explain it in a second.
Because there is a section in the book that yeah kind of explains your various options here. Like you could spend a PowerPoint to I mean what this character has where you step down a stress die. Like, there's a bunch of things that you can utilize.
Uh-huh.
So
Could
it's
I also use my social in a way to bring up my mind?
Mm,
um
not
what way?
really, no. And you can't go
Okay.
above 12 anyway. Keep that in mind.
Okay.
Now we can spend experience later to do stuff, but let's just do it in form right now, please.
All right.
Yeah. So, what do you got?
I'm using my physical to bring up my stealth, my mind to improve its self, and I want to use. I'm not quite sure what I want to use for social,
No, no,
so
you're done. That's it. You
yeah,
only
you're
get
right,
two.
right, cool.
Yeah, you only
That's
get
why I
two.
was thinking, but I wasn't quite sure.
No, no, you're
The
done.
one is Hinder, and that one's a freebie, but you don't get to like
Yeah,
Okay.
I'll
choose your best.
explain hinder later. But yeah, no, good. You're done. All right. So let's move on here to skills. Now, did you write them all down?
I did. I took a screenshot of them.
Oh, good. So all of these start at 4. They all start at 4. And in this game, you'll find out in combat and stuff that sometimes you end up not having a dice for effect usually, but you always get a default 4. So 4 is always in the game, right? And it's just a four-sided dice. Now, what you want to do is each of these mental your mental, physical, and social have a skill attached to them, right? It's one each, right? Or is it two? GOP?
Two,
It's two.
two.
So you're going to take, and it doesn't matter because every skill you see down here, they all can be applied in different ways, right? So your mental, your physical, and your social are going to each have two skills that are attached to them, okay? And all that means is they go up to a d6. That's all it means. So basically, choose 6 skills that pop up to a d6. Go ahead and do
Okay,
that
that's
now.
easy.
Yeah. Okay. And as you see, the skills are rather broad as well. And excuse me, that's done intentionally because we can apply specialization later that narrows that down, but gives you an additional dice, which we'll get to in a minute. So just choose the 6 that you want to pop up to a d6 and let me know when you're done.
All right.
Yeah, would recommend one of those being occult, but
Yeah, no, occult is very important in this game because you guys work for an agency called Dove. Now, the actual apparatus, the actual, organization is ancient, but in America, it's currently called Dove, and it's actually worldwide with a group called the Pact. And all it is a governmental deep black X-Files group, is what it is. It's the Department of Umbral Verification and Enforcement. Uh,
Smith.
so therefore, you guys are operating out of Boston, and there is a verification department, which you are part of, and there's an enforcement department, which you're not a part of. You guys are detectives. You're not shooter squads. You're not that. That's not what you are. You are
That's not
detectives.
what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
Oh, sometimes we forget.
Yeah, I'm just saying that when you're building your character, keep in mind you're not some combat assassin. That's not what you are. Your job is you're literally a detective. Now, because you're dealing with paranormal stuff, real paranormal stuff, you need to have some push, but you're mainly a detective. So, okay, are you done?
Yes, I am.
Awesome. All right, so this is what we need to do now. You is this? Does he get to apply 9 more? What is it at this point?
Yeah, so the way that it works, let me pull this up. It's nice. I can have like four different screens open now at once. It's great. Okay, so besides the six that are connected to your distinction, you also get 9 points to spend kind of freely uh amongst those different things. So like you can spend a point, and then each time you spend a point, you're just basically stepping up. So if it's a D4, it goes to a D6, or if it's a D6, it goes to a D8, what have you. Each time you spend a point.
Right.
Um, so you want to spend 9 of them in your skills, and uh, you can only have, if you want to increase one all the way up to 12, you can, but you can't increase more than one up to 12.
Yeah. There's a restriction. But yeah, so just take 9 points. And like I said, in this game, stepping up and stepping down is very important. And all it means is dice. And seeing as we know there's 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 sided dice the game uses, it's pretty easy to step up and step down, right? So just take those 9 points and apply them as you would like in those skills. Uh, you know, and keep in mind, being a detective, you want to be fairly balanced. I'm looking at this character. I don't think I put those 9 points in her skills, did I?
I don't know, but it
Yeah,
doesn't.
I don't think I did.
Well, yeah, because they're all really low.
Yeah, no, I didn't. But it's all right. It's
Can I
okay.
put them in the same skills of the two I've chosen too?
Of course.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
you
of course.
can.
Yeah,
Like I said, you can for each point you spend, you increase something by two. So if it's like a D6, it increases to D8
yeah,
kind of
because
thing.
we're stepping up dice. We're
Yeah.
going from a D6
Um.
to a D8, a D8 to a D10, a D10 to a D12, right? But you're
Yeah.
restricted to only one D12 at this point.
Hmm. And
So if you wanted to take, like, say, with her, her drive is a 4. If I wanted to make that a D12, that would cost me 1, 2, 3, 4 of my 9 points.
I could put 1 point in a bunch of things too.
That's what
you
I
can.
would do. Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking.
Just keep in
Like
mind
you.
though that things like notice, occult, if your character
No.
sneak,
I
no,
don't see a cult in here. I think I took a screenshot when he had some of the skills cropped
right.
out.
It's one
A
I
cult
added for the
isn't.
game. I added.
Yeah.
It would normally be under no, but it's so important to this game that I pulled it out and made its own thing. So you need to write occult down as well.
Okay.
Yeah, it would normally be under no. It is technically under no. But it's just really important to this game. We need to make sure you focus a little bit in it. Because it also not only understanding the world you're dealing with, it also if your character does take any kind of actual spell magic, it's all operating off of that number, right?
Hmm.
Like Tower made an actual mage, an actual wizard, and so his occult needs to be very high, and I think it was.
It's a D12. That
Yeah.
was what we maxed it out on.
I think I got mine figured out.
Okay,
So
good.
I put 1 in a bunch of things,
Yeah, that's what I would do.
and
So
I only used up to 9.
and that's and only 9. That's right.
Yeah.
So and keep in mind that one you're spending is increasing the dice. So you went from a D6 to a D8 or a D4 to a D6 or something like that. Okay, so now what you need to do is you have 5 free points to spend. Now these points can be spent on specializations or assets. Okay, so and I'd suggest you take at least one asset, and I'll explain this right here. Now,
Well, you
specializations, what they do is they take these very broad skill categories and narrow them down to something, and then you get an additional D6 in that regard. Now, if you spent 2 of the 5 points, it would actually be a D8. So you can step up within these 5 points you could spend. You're not increasing your skills here. You're either adding specialties or you're adding signature items. And if you notice on her, she has notice, right? And she has a specialization of a D6 in that. And all that means is I put down something like, I forget what it was. I didn't write it down, but I just came up with some kind of specialization within Notice, a more narrow application of the skill. And anytime I use that, I get to add that dice as well.
I can explain because so my original character I made on here has his notice skill, but he also has urban. So if he's in an urban environment because he grew up in a city and so he's been trained in urban environments. So if he's in an urban environment, he doesn't just roll his notice dice, he also rolls his urban dice on there too.
Yeah.
Like
Okay.
so basically it's like you if it can either be like if it's knowledge, which there is actually a free one on knowledge, by the way.
There is a free one. Yeah.
You get uh in addition. But it could be let's say drive and you want to put cars, or like shooting is one thing, but you want to specifically say if I'm shooting a gun, I get an extra D6,
Or bows or crossbows
or
or
or anything like that, So it's a more specific category or subcategory
right.
of
No
whatever you're
is
doing.
yeah. No is you do get a free
It's
one. In no, and that's perfect. No science, biology, botany,
mhm.
something like that. Yeah. And all this is doing is adding, it's actually adding, it's not stepping up the die that's already there. It's adding a completely new dice to it. And you get 5 points to spend. Like I said, if you spend 1 point in a specialty, it's a D6. If you spend 2 in that specialty, it pops it up to a D8. Okay. But you can also spend these one of these or 2 or whatever you want of these 5 points in signature assets. Now, signature assets in this game, say you're running around with a flashlight, right? And
Hmm.
you have that flashlight, and therefore it basically lets you see in the dark, because it's a flashlight. But it doesn't do anything mechanically game wise at all, nothing, right? But if you had a signature asset that was a flashlight, well, anytime that a flashlight would apply in game, you get to add the dice of that asset, the flashlight, into your pool. Because what we're trying to do here is create dice pools to make rolls to hit certain numbers or to beat enemies, right? So a
Yeah.
signature asset is a special thing. You might have other things on you, but they don't apply. They don't give a dice. Only assets give actual dice. And the good thing about a signature asset, it will always find its way back to you in some way or another. right? So it's not something you can't be taken away from the character long term, only short term. So that's another place you could spend the 5 points as well, and I suggest you have at least one. So it
You
could
can
be
do like a signature weapon, or
sure,
you could maybe get like signature shoes that are make you more sneaky or something. You know, it's
whatever.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
yeah.
I'm gonna use a jacket.
Okay.
I think a sneaky guy needs his sneaky jacket.
What's
So.
so the jacket is going to be used for stealth?
Yeah.
Sure. There you go.
It
Now
helps
All
that
right.
me hide in darker corners.
right, and the signature asset, your stealth jacket starts at a D6. Like I said, you can spend more of the 5 points to bump that up to a D8. You can't go higher than that right now, or you just use experience later to do it if you want it. But either way, this is how it does. You have 5 points to spend in either specializations for your skills or signature assets and or. So go ahead and do that now.
So the 5 points is towards the jacket.
Well, no, I mean it's going to cost
Uh,
you 1 point to get it. If you want to
okay.
bump it up to a D8, then that would be two of the 5 points, and then you'd be done with that.
Okay. I would like to bump it up to a D8.
Okay, so
That
that's
would
two. So that leaves you 3 points, and because you're going to be able to get another asset here in a moment, I would spend those three in specializations. So wherever you think they would be most useful for the character. Just look at a skill and like, well, I'd like to have an extra dice in that pool, so and just add a specialization to it.
Okay.
Like okay, like if you want to add an extra dice to your sneak thing, you can like uh in darkness or in shadow or something. You know, like you could add an extra dice if it's like there's some degree of shade or something. I don't know, but it's just something where there's a more specific instance that you get an extra dice for.
Hmm.
If it was broad daylight, you wouldn't be getting that extra dice. But as
Yeah,
long as
but
there's
I
some
mean
degree-
it's true. There is a thought process, a imagination involved in it. But as you see, the way I wrote it up, I just simply gave specialization, right? So when I use my notice, I'm really good at that. When she uses her fight, she's really good at that, and her sneak, and that's it.
So I can use my other 3 points for movement, occult, and perform.
Sure,
Okay,
absolutely.
cool.
So
That works
just
with me.
write down D6. Like you see, I put down SB D6,
All
specialization
right.
D6. All right,
yeah,
so
so like yeah, you need like movement and then something that has to do with movements that would be your extra
I am
dice.
curious why you chose perform, seeing as you are stoic and quiet.
Uh, I don't know. I've kind of thought it might come useful.
It might. Yeah, sure. All right. Well, let's move on to the last bit. Well, the second to last bit. In this game, you guys are all umbrals. Now, in the world, there are in the. I have to explain this real quick. The way this world works. There is there are vampires and elves and dragons and monsters of all type, right? But everything is actually human based. It's all actually human based. And you have two groups of people who can interact with magic. You have humans that, for some way or another, have access to umbral energies, because that's how you use magic, is using umbral energies and to do things, right? So you have mortal humans that have somewhere or another, either they're directly tethered or indirectly tethered to be able to use magic. And then the other side of it are the actual umbrals, which we are basically a type of demon. They're people who have died, and their spirits have been reattached to mortal bodies, may more than likely their own, like vampires do that, and therefore they're directly connected to the Umbra, and can do fantastical things. And any kind of creature that exists, like say a dragon or some kind of monster, is same something similar has been done to it. It has been connected to the Umbra in some way. That's how everything in this world works. All right. So with that thinking in mind, your characters have some kind of magical abilities. Now there's 2 points you get to spend here, uh, and you can do it in two ways. You can take a direct ability, and then an asset, a magical artifact, right? Which so it's more potent in your stealthy jacket. That's just a stealthy jacket. This is actually a magical artifact. Or you can spend both points into your ability, like I did with her, and then I pumped her up more with experience points later. So with her, she has regeneration. That starts at a D6. I put both points into it, therefore it was a D8, and then I spent XP to bump it up to a D10. So you can do one or the other. You can have a higher level power to start, or you can have a power and an artifact. It's your choice.
Power and artifact.
Yeah, that's probably the best way to go. I was probably just tired, and I decided, oh, screw it, and I threw them both into there with this NPC. So, what kind of power would you like your character to be able to do?
Mm. Oh, can I get an example of other people's powers so I know what kind of powers is
Sure,
more
lady. What do you
general
do?
around your world?
I have kinetics, but
She said
it's like
she's a
all I can do.
telekinetic. Yeah,
All I can really do is like grapple things with it. It's
because
not like
you haven't powered
flying.
it up.
Right, I haven't powered it up yet. I did raise its level. Experience, spent
Well, you did.
experience
So,
on
what's
it.
your dice in it right now?
It is currently a 10.
Oh well,
It was an
you
8.
well then you do have an additional ability.
Oh, okay.
hmm So you
Uh,
have the grapple, plus you maybe can punch, or you can create walls, or you can fly, or something like that. You do have an additional ability,
Okay.
lady. But yeah, any kind of power you think of, just tell me what you want to do, and
can
then
I do
I'll
Well,
something more chameleon-like?
sure.
you
Okay.
can do invisibility.
You could do
I
straight
was
up
thinking
invisibility.
invisibility, but I kind of want to be able to like fake the presence of someone else.
Oh, you wanted
Well,
to
I have one of my
doppelganger.
abilities is illusion, and I can make other people see what I want them to see.
Sure,
So,
Okay.
sure, but I mean, with him going with a doppelganger, there's nothing wrong with that, dude. That's a good idea.
Like, let's say there's this guard. We get rid of the guard, but he needs to be there, so I can pretend to be the guard and look like him.
Yeah. So just write down doppelganger.
All right, all right.
There's where your performance comes in.
that's
Exactly.
true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he's
Um,
going to be struggling with that D6 or sometimes D4.
Well, I hope no one comes and talks to me.
There you go. There's the hope. But yeah, no, that's easy enough. So write down doppelganger D6. Okay. And then what
ability
kind of
level.
magical artifact would you like to have? And since you
Um,
play D&D, this should be easy.
hmm. What can this artifact do? Is it
Anything.
what gives me the
Anything.
skill? Okay,
Anything. Yeah.
anything?
Yeah.
All right, all right. Oh,
You can fire blast
can I
one of
have? All right,
your.
I want a stone that kind of works like the sending stones, but I can use it to like throw my voice if I need to.
Sure. Go ahead.
So
Write
if
it
I
down.
place it here, walk somewhere else. All right, I'm just type sending stone because it'll be quick and simple.
Yep. Sounds good. D6. See, that's what I mean. It actually is quite easy. It's just all imagination based, and we know what it means. Okay, now what you need to do is apply 30 experience points. This is going to be the bear. GOP, can you bring up that page, and I'll share your screen.
Yeah, give me one sec.
Now,
Pull this up.
it's actually not hard, but you're going to spend experience points to move dice up. is what you're doing. That's all it does. Because if you look at your sheet, it's all just a bunch of dice, right? So we're
Yeah.
going to be taking dice from whatever they are and stepping them up, and it costs a certain amount of experience points to do that. The higher the dice is stepping up to, the more it costs, obviously. So going from a D4 to D6 is 5 points. Going from a D6 to D8 is also 5 points, interestingly. But going up from like a D10 to D12, what is that, 15 or something?
Yeah, I've got it up right now.
Yeah. So here is this page. You can click on it yourself and see it onto GOP. And you see it's 5 experience points to train a new specialization at expert, which is an 8, which is nice. You can unlock a special effect like we had put, and special effects can be applied to other things too. Not just your distinctions. You can, if you get clever with it, right? So say you have your shooting. You could put a special effect on that if you wanted. You can take another signature asset, a D6, and you can upgrade an existing D6 to a D8. All of that costs 5 experience points to do. D10 does the same thing, but you're going up from an 8 to either starting at 8 or going to a 10. 15 experience points is 10 to 12, or gaining 10 in something, and 20 is anything that needs to go to a D12 directly. So you can see the experience points there. You have 30 points to spend. So if you want to take some things and put them up to a 12 or a 10 or a 12, it's gonna be very short expenditure.
Okay. Well,
And also, the way we're kind of doing it too, if you have something that's only a 4 and you want to increase it to 6, that's also 5 XP.
Yeah,
That's
it's
the way
the
we've been running
same
things.
cost. Yeah, same cost.
Yeah.
So basically, yeah, I think it'd probably be easier. Just tell me, what would you like to be better at? You've been doing this for a while, so you're experienced. You're not a newbie, right? So of all of those dice that we've applied to your character, what would you like to be better?
well, one, I need to be better at performance, I guess. um, probably I want to say occult. I want to be better in it
Okay.
since
Well,
I
let's
kind of
start. Well, that's
study
going to
up
be
on that knowledge.
right. That's going to be the most expensive for you, I think. So, what is your occult die right now?
Um, I think it's at. I only have it at 2.
What do
Well,
you mean
it should
2?
be at
There is no 2.
Well, that would be D8.
An
Sorry, I
8,
made
an
it.
8.
okay.
Okay, an 8. Yeah, an 8.
Upgraded by 2.
All right.
All
So
right.
if we want to take that 8 to a 10, that costs 10 experience points.
Okay, I think that's fair.
Sure. So now you have 20 left. What else would you like to increase?
Give me a second.
Hmm.
Yeah, did we mention that? Oh no, we did mention that the powers that he got, they have a D6 dice on them.
They do. They do have a D6 and the
Um,
artifact as well as a D6.
I would like to bring up my focus up to. Right now, I think it's just a 1. So can I get to like a
So
So it's
bring
what do
it
you
up
mean?
to a?
What does 1
Can I
mean?
bring it up to a
one.
D10? Sorry, I'm doing 1. I made a little shortcut thing
Yeah.
so it's easy here for less typing and writing. So 1 is D6,
Okay.
2 is
Okay.
D8,
Okay. So it's a
3
D6.
Yeah.
would
Okay.
be
Okay.
like
Okay.
D10.
Same
Well,
cost. Same cost.
that'll cost you. No, it'll cost you a 5 XP. He's
No,
Okay.
increasing from
to
6 to an
take
8.
a. Oh, it's a 6. He said it's a 6. Yeah, that costs 5.
Yeah.
All right. So we have 15 left.
Yes, I believe so.
And remember, you can upgrade your skills, but you can also upgrade your distinctions and your abilities. So
Sure, those things can be upgraded too. You can also add new special effects if you like. You can add new specialties to skills if you'd like. A lot of things you can
Mhm.
do.
I'm going to focus on using up my points for now, and I'll figure it out for maybe future reference on what I'm
Sure,
going to do more.
no problem.
okay.
We do tend to get around 5 experience points each session anyway. It's
I'm
5 to
having a
6.
brain fart. I didn't quite write in what my last skill was. I don't remember what I said. I think it was
You
focus.
said like a.
Focus. You said focus.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. I was
Yeah,
just
you're
making.
spending.
It's sitting at a D8 right now, and we have 15 experience points left.
Uh, you said for like a skill, and the skills can be like anything. Like
Well,
I can use it for a new ability or something. Sorry.
yeah, so
No,
you can use. Well, all right. So like you have your skill list, right? You can increase those skills. You also have your distinctions, those little sentences that we made, and you can increase those as well. And you have your starting abilities, your mental, physical, social,
they can be upped
that
as
we
well.
did at the very beginning. That can all be upped as well. So all
Oh,
these numbers can be upped, and they all use the same XP rules that are on here.
Hmm.
okay.
That's what I mean. Your
Um.
whole sheet is nothing but a bunch of dice.
So for my steel-eyed ranger, I can bring that up with my points.
Yep.
And that
Okay.
was what a six, a D6 on there.
Yes,
So
it
Right.
is
So
a
that's another
6 right now.
5 to bring it up to an 8. Yep.
All right, I'll try to bring that up to an 8.
So you
So
have
I can
10
just
experience
switch
points
that
left.
from a 6 to an 8.
Hmm.
All right, cool.
and you have 10 XP left to spend.
Okay, and then I can use the rest of it on move.
Sure. What is your move
All right.
dice
Where's
right
your
now?
2.
So an 8.
all right? So D8.
Yeah, a
So
D8.
Yeah,
Sorry, I
so
don't know why I keep
yeah, no,
saying
it's
that. I'm
fine.
looking at my notes and just saying what's on there.
all right.
No, I
So
get you, but
make it a
that would be
10,
10 XP.
and then you're done.
Okay, writing that down.
And move is actually cool because it's useful not only in just your getting around, but it's also useful in your uh like the order of combat. It's
All right,
initiative.
so
It
Yeah,
is.
that's what I was trying to think of.
So you're done. That's it.
awesome. Sweet.
Yep, awesome.
So what
No,
do you
there's one more thing he has to do.
give him a
He
name?
has to find a picture.
Well, he
A
has to do
picture
that
of his
too. He has to
character.
find a picture for it.
Yeah,
But yeah, just find a picture you like on the internet and give it to me. You see the art. You'll see the art I'm using today. Try to keep it kind of that kind of level of art, please, so it doesn't bump the immersion so much. But you're ready. So let's get into it. Alrighty. So bring this up, and I'm going back over. I'm on my side here, lady. So chat, please. All right.
Yes.
So I will do a little bit of introduction again for Mike here. Do you have any questions before we get going, Mike?
I think I'm good so far.
Good. All right. Well, we are using the Cortex Prime system. The campaign is called Umbral, and you should look at my screen on Discord, because on the YouTube there's a good 10 12-second delay. So better to watch my Discord because I do a presentation here. So that you can see what's going on. But we are using Umbral. We do have our characters. This is Lady's character, Mike. She's playing a character named Mavis or Max. Okay. We have GOP's character here, is Xander
he's
Lyons the Third. Okay. And that's it. Who we have with us right now. Now we are in Boston, and you guys do work for an agency called Dove. And you guys are in the Brookline area of Boston, is where your offices are, and your boss, the office chief, is Antoine Burquest. He is an Umbral. He is part of the Merov group. And you'll see I'll either put down demon or umbral, even though technically everybody's an umbral. But umbral simply means mortal humans with magical ability. Demon means someone who is dead and their spirit has been attached either back to their body or to a new body. And for us, being as we are an enforcement agency for many different factions, not just the faction that we are particularly part of. Um, uh, our job is to deal with people who break the rules or cause too much chaos. Now, the thing is, though, because we are dealing with the Umbral world, uh, our thinking isn't quite the same as a human's would be, right? Just because an Umbral is eating children doesn't necessarily make them illegal. You understand what I mean?
Yes.
So Baba Yaga wouldn't be necessarily a target. Now, if Baba Yaga was trying to steal the souls of an entire town at the same or city at the same time, well, she would get our attention. But just normally her going about her day and taking a child here or there is what she does, and it's her nature. So it's not illegal, if you understand what I mean.
It
And
makes
this so our world is a little different than normal, right? So you got to keep that in mind. But we are all of us, because we're working with this part of the agency. We are all pact members. Now, the pact was formed just a couple hundred years ago. There was a big old banging war, worldwide war, between the Umbrals and the demons, and it was pretty bad one. And after the war was done, a lot of disparate factions came together and said, we need to make sure that never happens again. And they created a coalition, and that coalition they call the Pact. And you guys are part of that. So this coalition's main focus is to make sure that a war of that level of devastation never takes place again. That's the unifying factor of this coalition. And we are currently dealing with a problem, which I'll get to. But inside the office here, there are a few notable characters you need to know, Mike. One is Lady Ninma. She's very, very ancient. She is in charge of mission control. So when you guys, there's a portal system here, and this girl here is in charge of the portal herself. So when you go out on missions, if it's outside the city, you will be doing it via portal travel, right? These guys can put you anywhere in the world, or in the Vale, or even in the Umbra. So that's how we move around. Lady Nimma also is a little bit of an important character, because her father, as she refers to him, it's not her biological father, but her father is Lord Rull, and he is an Archduke of Stygia, which is a Vale bastion, and he's currently walking on the earth, which isn't good. It's causing a lot of trouble. You guys are kind of lower levels, so you're not directly involved, but yeah, it's not a good thing. You also have Dr. O'Hare here in the office, and he is in charge of the Sanctorum. He's basically your Q, and he knows all things magical. Okay, are you following along?
Yes, I am.
Okay, good. And then you also have the enforcement division, which you're not part of, but they are in the same building, and they do work with you sometimes. But the person in charge of the enforcement here for Boston is Director Sims. And then you have some peripheral stuff as well. There are plenty of other people running around the office, but those are the main characters. Downstairs on the ground level of this building in Brookline, there is a bar. It's kind of a classic New England bar, and it is funded and controlled by Dove itself, and it's run by Madeline Chen, and this is a safe haven. All right. There is a place down the road called Franklin's, and Franklin's is kind of, it's one of the more popular spots for any Umbral in Boston just to go hang out with each other. It's not associated to Dove whatsoever, but it is kind of gathering for Umbral types, whether they be demon or not. Right. Matter of fact, the lady who runs it is Penelope here, and she is literally a princess in the Winter Court. Now, the Winter Court are the vampire, the most powerful vampire group in Boston. There are other smaller ones, and they're not pact members, but there is a long-standing treaty with them, and the relations are strained, but not full-on war or anything like that. You also have a cathedral of the Holy Cross, very famous place in Boston, and Father Diaz is in charge of that, and this is other than just being a Catholic church, it's also a vault repository for any kind of dangerous artifacts and stuff like that is held underneath the cathedral. So you guys know him. And let's see here. I won't get into this too much. This is more of their these guys' personal thing, which I'm sure they'll get into later. Let's see what. Oh yeah, yeah. The BUA or the Boston Umbral Affairs is another important group. These are often pact They are pact members, but the Dove is the boss. It's the authority. It's the man. You guys have a lot of power, and therefore everyone hates the man, right? So,
Mhm.
Naturally.
naturally. And these guys feel that you infringe upon their authority because they're technically supposed to be the law in Boston as far as it goes to umbrals, but your power does supersede them. They don't like it much. This guy hates you. Basically, Seneschal Glowling. However, they don't have to deal with this guy. They've been dealing with Officer Jessica Donaldson. She is an Umbral herself. She's a Puka, I think. And I don't know. What do you say, GOP? Is she warming to you?
I would think so. My character, he just knows how to make people like him more,
All right. So
even
this is
when not really true.
yeah.
But
So this is your main contact with the BUA, and of course, it is an important organization in town that you have to interact with. But things are getting a little better with her. So this is another important faction in Boston. Just laying it all out here for you. So we have another faction here. It's the North End Union. These are basically the Italians, the mafia guys in Boston. And of course, I had to make them demons, as you do. But Anthony Priscatelli is the Umbro liaison, and he's actually friends with GOP. So you'll see him more often than others. Now, the word liaison is kind of important here because there's a lot of liaisons for different factions, right? And you guys, your official duty inside the group you're with here with GOP, you are the official Dove liaison team. So one of your main responsibilities is interacting with the various factions of Boston, right? So keep that in mind. Let's see what else is important here. I need to cover. Oh yeah, the Radiant Court, which is a Asian Chinese based group. They are not pact members. They are basically the enemy. But really, it's not the things are not that simple, right? But there's another group, major factions here, and there's tons of little ones that are basically you go around and police them, or the BUA does. Another important issue is Lord Rawl. These guys were involved with that incident. He has been summoned and risen to Earth. He is an actual Archduke of Stygia, and he's extremely powerful. We have not had an actual Vale Archduke walking Earth since Roman times, so it's very bad. He's basically taking over the Middle East. You guys get information here or there, but like I said, you're not directly involved. But because of that, you don't know every detail, but all the major cities around the world, the there's another layer of our cosmology here, Mike, and that is the ascended, which would be heaven, right? And the ascended, they can't cross the veil any more than we can cross into their realm unless we ascend, right? But they do influence the world somewhat, and they do it through their own agents. And those agents are different than the rest of us because they actually, instead of being powered by umbral energies, they're powered by the source itself. And no one knows exactly how they manage to do that, but they do. So these are like they're mortals that are powered, but they are powered by the source and their source, and therefore they're way more powerful. And these, which what we call magi, they call magi what we'd call angels. This is the Boston one. After Lord Rawl came out in New York and he's over in the Middle East, an angel showed up in all the major cities to protect them. So this you have Alora here. They haven't met her directly yet, and New York has this one. But you have another further threat that you have to be aware of here in Boston. One of Lord Rawl's lieutenants, Baron Sedigeir, is here in Boston, and he's hunting for Ninma, is what he's doing. And they know that. And I think that's it. I mentioned the Winter Court, and there's a few other things that I don't think matter right now, GOP. So,
Mhm. Lore
uh,
dump. Yeah.
yeah, I think that's enough. All right. So, before I move on to the actual campaign, do you have any questions about that? I know that was a very quick cosmology, but any questions?
I think I'm good right now.
Cool. All right. Good, good, good. All right. So, let me go ahead and get into it then. All right. So, last week, um, you guys were following up on trying to get Ramdar's step back, which you had failed to get in your little mission you had before that, where it had been stolen from a very annoying lady who is the principess of the order here in Boston. Of course, what are we, a month later or 2 weeks later?
I think you said a few weeks.
A few weeks, yeah, a couple weeks later, and there was it did show up on the radar in London. So you guys went over to London to follow up on it because you need to get this item back. You met with the chief there. You went to London, and you got yourselves in a little bit of a smackdown. You went with an agent, Tommy Taylor, who is actually one of the Ishi, or the elves, fairies, right? And you guys got yourself in a little bit of a battle with some actual Stygians. I do love this transition. All right. Anyway, but you got in a big old fight, which was way harder than I thought it was going to be, and they won
Oh,
it.
one of them was.
Oh, she was a bear, wasn't she? This girl
Well,
was a
because she
bear.
turned. Yeah, she. Well, we took him out immediately,
Yeah.
but yeah, 'cause they turned me against the party.
Well, I had
I was.
almost everybody. Yeah. I was kind of
It
worried I was
was.
going to have a TPK, to be honest with you.
Was close.
It was. Anyway, that was a tough fight. It took quite a while, but they ended up getting through it. And then, unfortunately, as soon as it was done, walking out of the hole made from the initial part of the fight came Malik Vey, Stygian Lord of Bator himself. Now he's not quite the same level as Lord Rawl. He's an Archduke, but this is certainly a high-level Stygian. Now, Mike, just so you know, in this campaign setting, Stygians are the kind of classical-looking demons, because there's in this world, anybody that has a dead soul, lingering soul, has been attached back to a body is technically a demon, right? But the
Yeah.
ones who actually the way their process for doing that, for accomplishing that, creates this kind of classical demon that then I just call them Stygians. Okay. So anyway, this is a pretty high level banger, and his woman was with him, and I'll let GOP explain what happened with that. Keep in mind, GOP, you also have the Eye of Mimir. Don't forget you have that. But go ahead and explain to them, to Mike here, and everyone listening, what happened with Malik Vey.
Well, he basically wanted to talk with Merlin. You know, although he called him Merzin or something like that. But yeah, he came out. We thought we were all gonna die, but he's like, I just want to parlay. So we brought him back to the office, and they chatted up with each other, and we're basically he wasn't able to go to this place to go find Merlin, but we're going to some place in the Vale. I forget what'd you call it, Chester?
You are
I forget
going to Elferham. You're going to the land of the elves, fairyland.
that. Okay, so we're going there to find Merlin because he's the only one powerful enough to take on Lord Roll.
Hmm.
Uh, but we couldn't take Malik here.
Well, because the
They
elves
wouldn't
wouldn't
agree to
allow
that.
it. Yeah.
But we got to take the lady. So
Yes. So His wife is the one accompanying you. He's not. They're not going to let an actual Stygian lord into the fairylands. Shocking that. But she is going to come with you, and you're going to go. And your mission is to find Merlin. You need to talk to Merlin because why?
He is the only one who could probably take down Roll
No, that's
because he's
not
bigger.
why. You didn't listen. I feel so disappointed.
What? Wait! I thought that's what it was. He was the champion.
No, he is the one that can raise the champion.
Oh, Okay, I misheard. My
That's
bad.
okay.
I
That's
was.
okay.
Yeah.
And who is the champion? Who?
We don't know.
You do know.
Thought a person was the
We
champion.
do?
I misheard. Okay,
Well,
I
who
wrote in
is
my notes
Merlin's
wrong.
champion? Mike, help him out.
Oh my God. Okay, yeah, Arthur. We're gonna raise Arthur.
Yes, you got to raise Arthur, or at least that's what's in your head. So that's the deal. So we're in Britain. We're with a Stygian lord's consort, about to step through a portal into the fairylands themselves, and we have to go talk to the summer court. And there, they somehow will be able to lead us to Merlin. We're not exactly sure all the information. You guys have been chosen as escorts. There is an elven or a Ishi ambassador lady who's going to be going with you, and she's not pleased at all about any of this. But she has been coerced. But other than her and Lady Hez here, you guys are her escort. Now, you, Mike, you actually are working here in the Dove Agency. You actually are working over in Boston with these guys, but you're with a different team. But your team was mainly working outside of Boston, not inside. You guys kind of cover the entire Northeast, right? These guys are liaison to Boston, so they rarely ever leave it, right? So their job is a little different than yours was. You're more of a team that goes to the greater area. But you had in your last mission, which happened, we'll say, a month ago, month and a half ago, several members of your team died during a mission. You ended up surviving and accomplishing the task, but your team is kind of no more because half the team's gone. So you're kind of waiting for a reassignment, or maybe they rebuild your team. You're not sure what they're going to do. You're sitting back in Boston, and you get a call on your phone. It's from Berquest, Antoine Berquest, who's he's the boss here. It's from his secretary asking you to come to the office.
I would make my way up to the office.
Okay. So you go in, and of course, you've spoken with Mr. Berquest before. I mean, you've been here. You've been here a while. You've been working out of this office. I don't know, we'll say a couple of years, maybe, right? And
Yes.
so you're not. You can decide how long yourself. It doesn't matter. But you're not a rookie. You've been doing this. You're on a team. You've probably met the guys here just simply around the office. You've probably seen them and said hello, right? But those guys, their job is really here in Boston. And you're a team you're part of a team that goes out. So anyway, you come into the office, and therefore we need to know who you are, Mike. So introduce yourself.
Well, first of all, my name is Jake.
Hmm.
Uh, I don't really know how to make proper introductions, but
Oh no, just tell us your full name and describe your character.
so I am Jake. Jake formerly, just call me Jake. I I spend my time working basically beyond comfortable areas that people like to be in. So I like I watch what people do and like how other, like, let's say like drug rings or whatever, like how they would operate between each other, and then I go and parlay that information to my higher ups. So my I've recently just lost two of my guys, So I don't really know what to say about that. I would say that really bothers me, and
Mm,
I am right now struggling with my mental crisis of losing my teammates and work, being able to like be there completely
okay.
because I feel like the loss of my men was my fault.
Okay. Very good. So, and you've been dwelling that for over a month, and maybe Antoine thinks that's enough time for you to have come to terms with it, right?
Yeah.
So you kind of been let in a sense on partial leave. No, it makes sense. Cool. And what does your character look like?
I don't quite have a picture yet because I was still compiling my notes. I am got a man with black slick back hair, and I wear a set of like simple like bigger reading glasses. So I still require glasses to read, and I don't know. I wear a one of those like longer black jackets, like that kind. What were they called? Like a drifter's jacket or something?
Trench
Kind of
coat,
like what the cowboys wore.
Trench coat, yeah.
Yeah,
outrider. Yeah.
Duster.
yeah. With
Yes, lady.
a
Mhm.
pair of dress pants and a white shirt.
Oh, okay. Yes, lady.
I
It's
think
called
she
a
said
duster.
duster. Yeah.
Dusters as well. Yeah, you have those too. So okay, so you're a pretty standard New England looking detective. Makes sense.
Yeah, I'm well dressed.
Yeah. Now, the glass thing might be part of your disguise or not. Keep in mind because you're an umbral and you're not tethered like these guys. These guys are tethered and they're super rare, but there's a reason for it. You're a normal umbral, right?
Okay.
It doesn't change anything in PowerPoints or anything like that. It's just story based. But because of that, you don't have many health issues. You don't really get older, right? You're kind of younger looking. You're going to live way longer, like centuries longer than an average human, right? Just because of what you are. So more than likely, your character, there would be a reason why you would need glasses.
All
Uh,
right, it's a personality quirk, so you know it's more me than my disguise.
Fair enough. Fair enough. All right, excellent. So you're talking to Verquest, and he says, condolences again on the loss of the team members, and it was a pretty tough situation. But we have ourselves a situation, and we need you. Are you ready?
I am ready, boss. I am. It's been a while.
It has, but we need you to get back in the saddle and get to it. You know the liaison team we got here in Boston.
Yes.
Yeah. They're over in London right now. Their last mission, they were trying to recover an artifact, and well, you don't need all the details. But they were kind of on the hunt for it. They led them to London. They've run into a little bit of a situation, and the team's a bit thin. One of their members is working on other things, so we need they need a little more support, and I'm going to send you over to them.
Are
Well, he
they
wasn't.
aware of my coming?
Not yet. And he
Okay.
takes a piece of paper off his desk and hands it to you. It's your orders.
Okay. I take a careful glance over the orders.
You have been reassigned to the liaison team.
Okay, I'll put the papers inside my jacket and then make my exit
Okay.
as figure out where to go from there.
All right. Well, you know exactly where to go. Of course, you don't have to go this very second. You might do whatever kind of preparations you need to do, but eventually you do head over to Jesse. Now you know Jesse. Like I said, I don't know how long you've been in this office. You decide that. These guys have been here about a year, right? GOP.
I would say it's somewhere. Yeah, it's been at least a year.
A little over, yeah.
Yeah.
You probably been here longer, right? These guys had a very special situation that brought them in. They went through a decade of training, which you went through a bunch of training too. But you were more normal. I don't know your background. You have to create that. Maybe your family is Umbral or something happened to you, or whatever. You come up with that whatever background story you want, and I'll probably ask you a little bit about that next time. But you are part of the agency for whatever reason, motivational, situational, whatever. And you've been here, we'll say you've been here longer than they have. So you know Jessie really well. She is in charge of the portal here. Even though she is rather young looking, of course, all of you guys are kind of youngish looking. She's way older than she looks, though. But you know Jessie, and you go over to her and you hand her papers, say you need to go over, and she says, "Oh yeah, yeah, no problem." And she prepares and opens a portal for you to send you to London. Okay. You step out of the portal into the London office. It's quite busy and chaotic over there, more so than you're used to. There's certain when Lord Rawl hit literally stepped onto immortal soil, things were crazy in Boston. But Boston is not as hectic as London is. London covers the entirety of Britain. So it's very serious business over there, and it's chaotic. You probably wouldn't meet him. You would arrive, and they ask who you are, and they take you right over to where all the rest of the guys are. So go ahead, let's do that. Secretary leads you in and points, and you see the two liaison members that you recognize sitting down. Probably organizing gear or something. So go ahead. There's a dumb
I
looking dude from Chicago and a young black girl.
it's perfect.
Well, I'm assuming you guys are the people that I need to meet. You look like the people off the photos of the little things I got set up, but I'm Jake, formally, as I put
Oh,
my
hey,
hand out to one of you, whoever reaches first.
I'll shake his hand. Oh, it's good to meet you, Jake. I'm Xander Lyons.
Nice to meet you, Xander, if that's fine if I call you that. I fold my paper up and put it back in my jacket.
Uh,
I reach over to shake, what was your name
she's got,
again? I didn't catch it.
she's got a nice size modern phone in her hand. She goes, Paul, identify, verify. She's just staring at you.
Well, it's nice to meet you, Paul.
Paul is the AI in her
Yeah,
phone.
she's an obsessive, crazy nerd. Just so you know, Mike. Just so you know. And
Yeah.
Paul
Call me Max.
verifies this as Jake. What was the last name again?
I never said my last name, but you can just
Well, Jake something.
Jake from
And
State Farm. Okay.
I
yeah,
was gonna say Jake State Farm.
yeah, and he is verified as an agent. Matter of fact, he's been there longer than you have in Boston, and you guys honestly probably have seen each other around the office. You're not necessarily friends, but you've seen his face before.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah,
So we didn't
Um.
get a heads up on, so we don't know why he's here,
yeah.
right?
No, you
Yeah.
don't.
Sorry for the
Okay.
loss. Sorry for your
Oh,
loss, I say. And then
Yes, you
eventually
would have
shake
that
his hand real
information.
quick. 1, 2.
so what
I
can
appreciate it.
how can we help you, Jake?
Well, I got sent here for trying to use my memory. You know, they sent me down here to assist you guys. I can't quite remember everything that you said to me,
Well, you can
but
hand
yeah,
him your papers.
I hand over my papers to you guys to read.
He has been
Okay.
reassigned
Look
to
at it,
your team,
scan it.
GOP.
Me not
They
a
gave us a
team member.
new guy already, huh? Oh,
Yeah,
out of the
things get
frying pan
crazy.
into the fire. Yeah. I give him the rundown on what's been going on, and so I guess yeah, I guess you're gonna walk on this little path with us right now on our escort mission.
Yes, I will.
Well, good to have you on board.
It's very much appreciated to be on a
I'm
team
gonna
once
let
again.
you.
It's been a while.
What's up, lady?
Um, I'm really don't trust those Fey folk. I know that sounds strange, but this situation doesn't feel too good. Or as Han Solo would say, I don't have a very good feeling about
I don't know. I never watched Star Trek, but
Star Wars.
whatever.
Catch up, old man.
Well, keep in mind you've only met two Ishi, or we'll just call them elves. You've only met two. You met Tommy. Tommy wants nothing to do with what's going on. Here's Tommy, by the way.
Yeah.
Because he is loyal to the Summer Court, of course, but he's also loyal to the Pact. But bring in a demon of any kind, even if it is just the consort, which is weird because they're demons too. But understand that demons look at each other very differently, because each different group of demons has a different process for how they attach a lingering soul or a veiled soul to a mortal body. They have different processes, and some of them look with extreme disdain upon other processes, right? And the Ishi are, well, they're some of the most racist people on earth, probably. These guys are very, very snooty. And he doesn't like the idea whatsoever. He doesn't care. And he's been very mopey about the whole situation. Of course, he did lose a bunch of friends in a battle as well. So he's not coming with you and he has nothing to do with it. But he's the only elf you've ever met, lady. That guy.
Well, no, it's the other lady that was in.
The diplomat, which
We
you
met
haven't
her
really met her. You've seen her in the last,
by her
like for us.
snottiness. Yeah.
Well, you
Okay,
saw her
fine.
snottiness, that's for damn sure. But
Yeah, Tommy
she's
was
very
okay, but her snottiness is not too okay.
well. She is different than Tommy. Tommy will stay in a human guise for quite a while, most of the time. He doesn't. He doesn't. Show his true face very often unless it's in combat. You guys saw that face. This is what an
Uh,
Ishi looks like, Mike. They're basically satyrs. These are my elves. And the lady diplomat, you've only seen her in this state, and she's a female version of it, right? She seems a bit older too. So yeah,
I look over at Mavis and I'm like, in our line of work, it's best probably not to trust anybody. You can't if they do what they're gonna do. We're just here to do a job. You shouldn't implicitly trust any of these people. But we'll make it through
it's
this.
a
We always do.
big word for a Chicago man.
yeah, he's using big words. Uh,
Hey, we're gonna do this. Come on, come
Come,
on.
come on. All right. So, uh,
looking up information on Paul as well on the Eye of Mims.
I'm sorry. What was that? The Eye of Mimir.
The
Yes.
Mimir.
Yes.
If he finds anything or not, I don't know.
You don't have much information on it. It is considered an ancient artifact, and the only information you can find is the information you're already told. It allows you to see the truth of things. They got the just so I'll show you, Mike. They were given this artifact. A GOP, I think, was given to it for their
Lady.
a lady was given. That's right, lady was given. You're right. Lady was given this by Malik Vey himself because he was impressed in how well they dealt with his lieutenants. So he thought they deserved reward for this. Keep in mind, I think it's important for you to know, as far as the attitude. Malik Vey is excessively noble warrior type character. He's not this, burn them all, devour the family type of demon. He's a very noble type of dude. He's still a demon, but he's not maybe what you would imagine. Which you won't be traveling with him anyway. You will be traveling with his consort, though. She is his representative here. Lady Hez is extremely demure and very, very high in etiquette. Once again, not really what you expect from a kind of classical demon. But that this Eye of Mimir was a gift given to them. All right, so let's go ahead and get into it. An agent comes up and gathers you guys. You got yourself ready to go, Mike, as well.
Okay.
And you guys are taken to their portal mission control portal room. And the elven ambassador is standing there with you, standing there waiting. Now, this lady is very tall. She's much taller than any of you. I'd say she's pushing 6.5 feet, right? She got horns and ears, just like I showed you with Tommy. She looks like a fawn, right? Is what they look like, except that they don't have the legs. And she is dressed in elegant silks, maybe. You're not sure what, but they look expensive, like a long flowing dress. She got jewelry all about her on her arms and hands and neck and ears. She is bejeweled, and she has this level of haughtiness that you've only seen in comic books, right? And she's not pleased with the situation whatsoever, and she wants to get it done with, and she's probably complaining as you walk in. However, you're getting to it. Lady Hez doesn't blink. She's almost unflackable. Although we did see a little flack there for a second. And you guys step through the portal. Now, the elves. You are now in the Vale. Now, Mike, in this world, you have Earth, and then surrounding Earth at a higher frequency, therefore a different dimension, is the veil. And above that is the Umbra, and the Umbra connects the entire universe. It's the dark matter that sews everything together. And then at a higher frequency, yet again above that, is the ascended realm, which is where people who ascend go to. If you don't ascend when you die, you end up in the veil. And that's only if your soul was pretty strong anyway. A lot of people end up trapped in this kind of animalistic body and eventually get eaten, right?
Oh.
But that's what the veil is. It is where most souls end up, right? And of course, in the veil, since it's been tens of thousands of years, even pre-human, right? There are many bastions or worlds or lands within the veil. And they've been some of them have been held and controlled for a very, very long time. Because demons, it's very rare that you'll ever see a demon in the Umbra, in an Umbral bastion. They can't travel the Umbra. Only you guys can do that, right? But this is one of the oldest and most famous of the Vale realms. This is the Elfrheim, or the Fairy Lands. And they are very particular about their safety because they've been through who knows how many wars. And therefore, you cannot teleport directly to any of the courts. You end up in this place and you have to walk it in because they're not having it. So you were in the Freirfin Vale, and that's where everyone ends up here. It's quite beautiful, and you guys are traveling along. However, this place is well. Let's see, lady,
Yes.
you're about to enter a foreign place you've never been before. What do you do?
Am I going to be able to breathe, see, feel,
Right.
touch
Therefore, what
anything?
what does Max do?
Max
What does
will
Max normally do?
Yeah. What does she constantly do? All the time.
bring up Paul and
Paul.
find
Yeah.
out Paul. I don't know if Paul
Hmm.
would know about the
He
this
might.
certain
He
place we're
probably
going.
does.
He does. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Bring Paul up.
Okay, so Paul tells you that, of course, you can breathe. That's not an issue. But the the run from Freirfin Vale you're going to the summer court, which is good because it's the shortest distance. But you are going to go and speak with Titania. If you're lucky, Oberon will be there. But that's where you're going. You don't know anything about that shit, but you heard them talking. You know, not to you, but around you. So you're going to the summer court. You know that. And the run between here and there is the shortest. But the elves don't care about maintaining it. Matter of fact, creatures and monsters and troubles and stuff like that, it's extra defense. It's bonus. And if you get eaten along the way, well, that's your problem. You know. So it is dangerous as shit. You are in a very
Suggest
dangerous place. You are in a
flashbangs carry with us because
well,
you
I
really
was
don't want to kill something there, right?
no, you might have to. But you guys, of course, have all your equipment on you that you have, right? But this is a place, the wildlands here in the fairyland are places of teeth and flesh.
Get
So don't get
everybody
eaten.
that information before they get appropriate equipment.
You have the equipment you have on you, lady.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
We have
So
nothing to protect her with.
she's
Because that's
from
what we
here.
are. We're her protection.
Yes.
We got our weapon.
Yeah.
Now, you guys are escorting Lady Hes, and you have the ambassador with you, and you guys have traveled for about just a few minutes, really. It is stunningly beautiful. It is a gorgeous place. It lives up to your expectations. There's wild animals here, there's butterflies. It is beautiful. You do hear odd sounds off in the distance around you, however. And but as you're walking along, you notice that the ambassador is actually in the front, which kind of makes sense. You guys are kind of just following her, right? And she looks back to you and she says, "Stay along this creek. It will take you to the summer castle." And she turns into vapor and disappears.
Well, that was
Yeah. Told you I didn't have a very good feeling about this.
I'm getting bad
Did she
vibes.
indicate which way? Upstream or
She
downstream?
pointed
Okay, she pointed.
straight ahead where you guys are heading. And Lady Hez does not break. She doesn't do anything. She just looks at you and nods her head and support.
Let's
So what do
put
you
her
guys
in the
do?
middle.
All right. Well, let's keep our eyes peeled just as we go. I guess. I don't know. Who wants to take up the front? We should
Ah,
probably.
marching order.
I'll
It's
go
been a
for
long
Yeah.
time,
marching.
GOP.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So
Who
who's gonna
has the
take up the
best
front?
notice?
Yeah, who's going to take up the front? We need
I have I
marching order.
have I
Well,
have a D6 in
lady,
notice.
we know you're not
Would-
taking the lead. We're well aware. Matter of fact, you should be
Mhm.
standing next to Lady Hex.
I think it's well determined we should put GOP up in front.
And
Okay.
you'll
Well, my
pick up
notice is
the.
only D6 too. So, but I was never the main person for that.
No, you weren't. Matter of fact, I would probably. Well, no, you guys do what you want. So that means that Jake is it Jake or Jack?
Jake.
Okay, Jake. Jake is pulling up the rear then. All right, you guys are traveling along, and GOP, give me a notice.
Yay! My favorite.
Oh, I didn't even bring
Okay.
the dice up. Hold on a second. I was chatting and I forgot. Let me go ahead and
I'm
do
sitting
that.
over there in the room already, waiting on you guys.
10d8
Well, I was
d6.
busy.
Oh yeah, you might want to invite him to
I will.
that.
I will. Oh God, there's so many of you guys in here. There's so many versions of you.
You gotta, yeah. And also, for
Need to
some reason,
really
it put
delete
me in
some
a
of them.
different room. I don't know why.
Yeah,
I
I
don't
got
know. It
two of
keeps
you.
every
I have
time I
two
get it, I
different
come in, I have to
versions.
register again. But it's okay. It's okay.
Rooms,
Uh,
untitled room, or Bugbear's basement. Yeah, this is the big
I
one.
am connected
Never.
in here. So let me go ahead and oh, there we go. Did you drop him a link yet?
Why am I on? I can. Here.
Yeah,
Okay.
just drop him a
Do
link.
it. Okie
This is a
dokie.
dice page we use because in this game we need to be able to see each other's dice. A lot of times when I do this live game role playing, it's not necessary. You guys just roll on your own. But in this game, we need to see the dice, so it is what it is. We use this; it
Uh,
works okay.
it's posted in the general chat.
Yeah, just go to
So
the Discord general chat and click, and you can come in here and join us. Just go to Bugbear. Yeah, it's a Bugbear basis link, so it should bring them in here immediately, I think.
why is it? I'm logged in, but then when I come into the room, I'm under player 9.
Okay,
I
so
don't know.
just change it.
Yeah, no, I am.
Yeah. All right, I got everybody in here. Sweet. You can click on your thing. You can right click on it, and you can or left click, and you can change your name and color, and you can also do with dice and stuff like that. So, Mike, it's pretty easy to use. I see you're in here. You already did it. No, that's
Yeah, I
Max.
just changed my name.
Yeah, you're good. So,
Oh, did I change someone else's name?
no,
Okay.
you did perfectly.
You're
You're not a
yeah.
boomer. I'm
You're
happy.
fine.
All
All
right,
right.
so GOP, give us a notice roll. Now, what he's going to do, Mike, since we're starting to get into dice here, he's going to choose his mental, right? He's going to choose one of his distinctions that apply to seeing things. Which one is that, GOP?
My distinction. So let's see. My mental's a D10. My distinction for this is going to be a D8. Clever
Which
Umbral
is, read the
Explorer.
distinction though, please.
Clever Umbral Explorer.
Explorer. There we go. Explorer would definitely apply to notice, right? So we have his mental, we have the explorer aspect. He's using that dice, plus he's going to use his notice skill. Do you have any specialization in notice, GOP?
Nope, I
No,
do not.
you do not. Do you have any asset or which assets include artifacts, magical abilities, whatever? Anything else? Do you have any assets that apply to notice?
Uh, no, I do not. Although I will say, can I use my Gaudy Ring of Illusion to kind of hide, conceal myself, like make it look like I'm somewhere where I'm not, kind of thing, is like a decoy.
Well, that would have been something nice to mention before.
Okay, well that's fine. I'll do that after, probably after we get attacked here.
Hmm.
Okay, I'm gonna roll then. All I have is a D10, a D8, and a D6.
So there you go. And he makes his roll.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this challenge rating for this is a little bit difficult. And the way it works is it goes up by fours, Mike. I'm using a static challenge rating for skills and stuff. So the easiest one would be a 4, which is almost like why bother rolling. Then it goes up by it goes up by 4 after assuming a 3, and then it goes up by 4 after that. So 7, 11, 15, 19, etc. So I've put a 15 on this, which is pretty difficult, right? That's well above average. It's a difficult roll. So if you look at his roll here, Mike, we have he's using a 10-sider, 8-sider, and a 6-sider. And it doesn't matter how many dice you roll. You're only going to choose 2 of them initially anyway. And then you need a third one can be applied to the effect, meaning how well you did it. If you have no further dice to apply, it's just automatically a D4, right? But in this
Okay.
case, he's got a 3 on the D10 and a 5 on the D8, which is an 8 with a 6 effect die. 8 is not enough to get my 15. Now, he could use PowerPoints to add that 6 in, which still wouldn't do it. He could add hero dice, which I'll explain when that happens. There are things he can do, but I don't know that he's going to bother.
Nope. And this wouldn't be a case where I could challenge it, right?
No, it's a skill roll, so it's not combat. Yeah,
Oh yeah, it's not being like a challenge thing. It's like there's a number I have to hit. It's not like a direct challenge.
right,
Okay.
exactly.
Okay. Then I am currently walking and pulling out the leftovers of a donut that I had in the interior of my coat pocket
Hmm, hmm.
that I am now munching down on. So I'm a bit distracted. Um, yeah, that's what's happening right now.
Okay, so that's great. So in the back, you guys are kind of moving along here. Lady, give me a notice check.
Okay.
So same thing, she's going to take her mental, whatever distinction applies, her notice skill, specialization if she has it, and any asset that might apply. There are times where Mike, where they're rolling like six dice, right? There are times. Uh, we don't really have a notice person in the group right now, so I doubt that'll happen right now. But in the end, it doesn't matter. You're only choosing two dice. If you want to add more of the dice, you have to spend power points. Your character has two. So just go ahead and write that down. You have two PowerPoints.
Okay.
You can
I'm
also
using one
re-roll
PowerPoint
dice,
to
but
use
that
my
costs two
dimensional
PowerPoints to do that. Sorry,
goggles.
lady, go ahead.
I'm using a PowerPoint to use my dimensional goggles, which gives me super sense, which
Yep,
is only a D6.
no problem. So she's spending a PowerPoint to add another die. Now, keep in mind when you spend PowerPoints, they apply to the entire scene, not a round, not turns, the scene. So those goggles are going to be on and useful for her to her for this entire encounter we're about to do. And she's got four dice. And so she needs 15. This is pretty high. And she's sitting at looking at a 10. My challenge rating is 15. In this game, you have to get higher than the challenge. So she needs a
Yeah.
16. She doesn't have enough. She could spend a PowerPoint to add the D6, which would bring her to a 15. And then maybe she could take up a hero dice, which she has earned, and probably be able to do it. Do you want to do that? Do you have any? How many hero dice you got, lady?
I got two.
Okay. You don't have
So
to.
spinning is it spinning two PowerPoints to use a hero dice?
No, no, just one.
Uh,
No, hero dice, sorry, is one. Yeah, yeah. Anytime, also, anytime you use a hero dice, it does cost a PowerPoint,
Right. So we added the other other five, so that's
which would
15.
be one PowerPoint, and then to add a hero dice wouldn't be another one. So you'd be spending
Yeah.
two PowerPoints and a hero dice to try to get this
So I
spot.
need to roll. See, that's an 8-sider, so I need to roll a 10-sider then, right?
Okay, go ahead. Well, no. What's your hero dice?
10-sider.
That's the only thing you
Okay.
have is 10 siders. You don't have something
I
smaller.
have two 10-siders.
Oh well. Go ahead and roll it.
I could use instead of for the hero dice, I could re-roll that 8.
Yeah, that's risky. I'd spend the
Just
hero
use the
dice.
hero dice at
Yeah,
that point.
that's risky.
Okay, here we go.
All right, no problem.
Oh,
All right,
10.
very nice. So now in this situation, what happens? And you can get her hero dice off of using hero dice, by the way. So her total right now, she had spent two power points and one of her hero dice she had earned to do it. So it's kind of expensive. But what she has now is a total of 25. Now my challenge was 15. Right, and she's got an eight-sider kicker. Now the effect die, the number you roll doesn't matter at all, Mike. It just the size of the dice matters. So she's using that four. Why not? And so she has a level 8 effect, which is great. And no problem in this situation. It's awesome. So she has 25. Now, for every 5 you are above the required roll, you gain a hero dice and she's 10 above. So she gets two hero dice. And the hero dice in this situation are eight siders because we're in a mid level campaign. Right. This is you can step. Usually I start with six. A mid is eight, and very threatening high end is tens. So lady picks up. She spent one 10 sider hero dice, and she gets two eight siders. So write that down, lady. And she succeeded, so she gets a PowerPoint as well. So that's how it works. Do you understand, Mike?
Yeah, I think I'm getting it.
Okay, cool. Lady,
Yes.
and Mike, you can go ahead and give me a roll as well. This is happening at the same time, so you could
I'm
get
still trying to figure out make
well, no
sure my
problem. So
notes
what
are
we're going to
right.
do is what is your mental?
My mental, yeah, make sure I got is It's an 8.
So a D8. So we're gonna go on this here. You can see me moving my mouse around, right? You click on a D8. What distinction would allow you to notice things? You think soldier certainly would apply.
Oh, sorry, I'm flipping between pages. D8. What would help me notice things? I would say focus.
No,
Uh,
distinction.
your
Distinction.
distinctions, yeah.
Those
Distinction.
sentences that you made.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Uh, my arcane seeker.
Sure, that would
Uh,
work. Which is higher, the arcane seeker or the umbral soldier? Which die is higher?
the Umbral soldier.
So use that one. Yeah.
Okay.
And what die? What die is that?
I'm a 10 in that.
Okay, so there we
I'm
go. So
not.
we got an 8 from your mental, a 10 from your distinction. What is your notice?
I'm still trying to figure this out.
Well, just look under next to the notice. What dice did you write down?
Um,
On your skills.
Yeah, under your skills, under
I
notice,
don't
what dice did you
think
put down?
think I missed writing something down for that.
So then it's
It's
just a
right after
D4.
move.
So you didn't put anything in special into it, so it's just a D4. Okay,
Okay,
which is probably a
it-
mistake, by the way.
that's fine.
But that's okay. So it's a D4. If you didn't write anything down, you didn't touch it, and they all started at D4. Okay. So do you have any? Well, you can't have a specialization with a D4, so there's no specialization. Do you have any asset, artifact, power that would apply? Your doppelganger won't apply. What was your artifact you had?
At a sending stone for throwing
Oh, right,
voices
right,
and
right.
my
That
special jacket.
that wouldn't apply. So if you look at my screen, you see I have a D8, a D10, and a D4. Okay. Now, this is your first time going through it. That's fine, but keep in mind your skills. Just like I showed you with that NPC character I had up, you want to have all your skills written down. You want to have the dice right next to them, and you can put it on one page, so it's boom, you can see it really quick, right? But as we're seeing it here, a D4. To be fair, I don't know that I would create a character that didn't have at least a D6 in notice. But it is what it is. So go ahead and hit your 8, your 10, and your 4 down here at the bottom, and then just roll like this.
Oh, I don't know why my screen looks weird. Oh, I see.
Okay.
8.
8,
So
10,
it's
4.
a 9 with a D8 effect.
No, that's my roll.
Oh, that's your roll. My
Yeah,
bad.
I was just demonstrating.
There you go.
There we go. All right, cool. All
Better.
righty, so fine. Now, in this case, your effect die is going to be pretty low. Like I said, you might want to kind of freshen it up. Are you near GOP? Are you guys near each other?
No, I'm all the way at my
Relatively.
house. If he was with me, I'd be able to set this up pretty
No.
easily.
I mean, in life, do you guys hang out? Do you work
Oh
together?
yeah, yeah.
Okay,
We
cool. So GOP can help you kind of flesh his character out a little bit better, because there's no way GOP he should have a 4 in his notice, right?
Yeah,
Um,
we'll go
we'll
over
figure
it.
it
yeah,
out.
we'll
I'm not
figure it
too
out.
worried about it.
Yeah, no, I'm not either. But especially where you guys can get together and look over it. But
Do a
anyway,
little respect.
so what do we have here? We have a 5 and a 7 because you only take 2 dice, right? So the 5 and the 7 is going to be a 12. Now you could spend PowerPoints here. You don't have hero dice. You could do stuff, but you don't really have the resources to do anything right now. So you fail the roll. Okay, but Lady doesn't. So let's go ahead and get into what happens then. So let me go back over to my presentation page. All right. So you guys are moving through, and Lady, you're talking to Lady Hex, and like I said, she's super polite, very nice lady actually. As you guys are walking through, and you notice something off to the right hand side of you seems to be stalking the party. What would you like to do, lady?
Just
Lady?
simply say buggy. I'm simply saying Which side is Lady His on? My right or left?
She's on your left, and this movement is
She's
to
on
your
my
right.
left. Okay, so I'm doing bogey, 3 o'clock.
Okay.
Drawing weapons out and facing that direction.
Unfortunately,
Putting
no
my body
one.
between.
You know your
Huh?
character's like what, 18?
19 now. It's been over a year since
Oh,
we've
it
been here.
has. You're right. I don't know that
And I was raised by
19-year-olds use the
military.
word bogey.
Maybe
Bogey?
she
Come on.
does.
No one.
She's an odd
I'm
duck.
just joking. I was just joking. All right. She alerts the party openly. There is an enemy to your right.
Your
So
character
What's
should say
between us
yee
and the
yee.
enemy? I don't know.
no,
I don't know if it's
don't
creek
you
or
start
whatever.
that shit.
Was he starting?
He said yee
No,
yee. I don't like the young people speak.
I said your character should have said yee yee.
Yeah, no, don't
Yee
irritate me further. You're not young enough to say yee yee, are you, Mike?
No, I've
Yeah,
heard that.
thank
That
God.
sounds dumb, really
It
dumb.
does. It does. So when
Oh,
Tower
God.
comes
I've
back
heard it.
after his very short partying, we'll tell him that. I'll tell him for you.
Yay, yay.
He says
Everybody say
yee.
yay, yay when he comes back.
Yeah. But anyway, so everyone is aware. This thing is also aware that you are aware. So it doesn't bother stealthing anymore. It just decides to, well, eat you. So
How close is it
it
then?
makes itself known. Now, what's the highest occult I have here?
Not I.
What is your occult, lady? Just tell me the number.
D8.
Thank you.
D8.
GOP. Did I lose GOP?
He's muted.
Muted for
Oh,
a
I'm sorry. I don't know why I was muted. I'm a D8.
And what about you, Mike?
What was it again? Say it,
Your
please.
occult.
Cult.
What is your
My
occult
occult.
dice? Yeah.
I think I'm a D10.
A
Yes.
D10. Okay.
Whoa.
And did you put any specialization into that?
I think we did. Yeah, it was with my jacket.
No. That's
No, that
an
was sneak.
asset. I'm talking
But that
about
was that's pretty sure
an
that's
actual specialization. It's okay.
Alright.
It's don't worry about it.
It's probably like a D8. I know I brought it up
That's
quite a
okay.
bit.
GOP's got to work with you, and he'll recreate the character more efficiently with you. And by the end of today, you'll understand the system better anyway. So it's all good,
Mhm.
dude. Don't worry about it. So you're going to have a higher occult, which is good. You know exactly what this is. Not only have you studied it, like they probably have too, but they've never seen it in real life. You've actually faced one of these before. You know exactly what it is, and it sucks. This is Mike. This is a bazul, or in more common modern speak, a banshee.
Oh. Well, that's not
wonderful.
fun.
No,
I
this
suggest
is
running.
well, you know you can't outrun it. You have experience with this. You know that you just have to deal with it. You can't outrun this thing. You know that. And you are escorting a dignitary of sorts as well.
Yes. Oh man.
Would you like to alert the party, or I mean, because I'm going to do
Uh,
initiatives, but I mean, I'm giving you an
yeah.
opportunity to speak.
I don't even know what to say. Is that
You could
that's
say
a
Bazul.
we got a bazul on us. If you guys even know what that is, it is a scary monster. I don't even know what to do right now.
Well,
As
Well, you
I
do know
kind
what
of
to do.
seem
You
to
faced it
panic
before.
in my feet for a minute.
Yeah.
What? I don't have any weapons on me though.
Yes, you do.
you should have
You, of
something
course,
on
you
you.
have weapons. You have guns, and you have stuff like that for sure.
That's just like
You are kitted
standard
out. Don't worry
basic
about it.
kit. Yeah.
Yeah. Um, you have a basic kit. Don't worry about it. It's okay. We kind of threw you in real into the deep water real quick here. You are well equipped. Don't worry about it. Anyway, you guys, when he says that, your training does kick in, your study kicks in. You Bazul, it's a banshee, which is what modern people would call it. So you don't know much about it. He knows how dangerous this thing is, but it's irrelevant. We're doing initiative. So, GOP, tell them how initiative works.
Okay, so initiative is going to be your mental and physical ability numbers,
Totaled
um,
together.
total together, yes. And then if you have any word that has to do with like being fast or agile or anything like that in your distinctions, that can be added to it as well.
Hmm.
And then also if you've upgraded your move, you can
Hmm.
throw that in there too.
That's right. So, do you have any distinctions that specifically refer to fleet or quick or sprightly or something like that?
Or agile or
Agile. Yeah.
And I just got move.
Yeah, no, that's fine. You don't have to have it. Not you're not your character's not going to be specialized for every situation, obviously, right? So that's
mhm,
fine. So you got to take your physical and you got to take your mental. You got to add them together. So what is that
on
total?
your
That
physical
would make
mental ability.
11.
No, it just that's an impossible. It has been an even number.
Okay.
What
Yeah, I
what
think he's just
what
keeping points. Like,
Yeah, you got to fix that. He can't think that way. You have to think in
yeah,
even numbers in this game. You can't think 1, 2. That's not, it's my fault. I'll take
I
responsibility.
would
Um,
I would
what
assume it's
what is your
probably
mental?
gonna be
Is it
My
a D8
mental
or a D10 or a D6?
my
What is your mental?
mental is 8.
Okay, it's a D8.
okay.
Okay, and what
Okay.
is your physical?
My physical is a D10.
Okay, there we go.
All
So
right.
that's an 18. Okay,
Okay.
and then what is your move?
Uh, I just got move on there, so I'm assuming it. I only was able to put in there once, so would it be like 4?
Okay, so
Yeah.
it'd be a D6.
It
So if
would
you
be a
put one
6.
thing
Okay.
into it, yeah,
Yeah.
that'd be
All
a
right,
So
so
D6.
it's
it's
a
a
6. Okay.
D6.
So you have and you didn't put any specialized dice in that either.
I don't think so. No.
Okay. All right. So that's a 6. So that would bring you up to a 24. Okay.
All
So
right.
you have a 24 initiative, which is pretty good. Lady, you have a 15, right?
18.
It
Eighteen,
couldn't
18,
be a
18.
15.
So it's not a bad speed. And GOP, you're like 89 or something like that.
I'm a 34.
34. Ridiculous, ridiculous number. Now, my character here, and this is the kind of sheets I use when when you guys are facing monsters. There's two type. We have the lieutenant type, which have to be dealt with in the normal way, and we have minion types. But this is a lieutenant type, or just a standard monster. So it has stats just like you do, right? This thing has a mental of 12, has no physical because it has no physical form, right? And it's got a social of 6, so it's not very good. But so that's a 12, but it gets to add all its things into its move, though, the way these monsters work. So that's a 16, and therefore that is a 28. Not enough to beat GOP, though, but I will be going second. In this particular, actually, druidic would add into it. Yeah, so okay, it is a 28. No, it's not. What am I doing? Yeah, no, that wouldn't be
I,
applied, right? So that's a
I
28 because that one doesn't apply. So those the fury and the druidic apply, but the touch doesn't. So it's a 16 and a 12, therefore 28. Okay. GOP is going to go first against this creature. Now, just because it doesn't have a physical form and it's ethereal, doesn't matter really. Depends on what these guys do, Mike. Their weapons are built for dealing with, umbral threats. So their bullets, their swords, all those things are going to damage anything that's umbral anyway. So it doesn't
Okay,
matter.
that's good to know. I was so worried about that. I was like,
Right.
you can't necessarily just shoot this.
You can. Now, if they went and actually try to punch this thing without having some special punching ability, then it would be useless.
Okay.
but they're not going to do that. But because most of the time they deal with physical things, but that's how it works. Your weapons are built for you to do your job. So GOP, go ahead and demonstrate how you fight this thing.
I'm gonna run up to it and punch it. No, just kidding. I'm going to shoot it with my guns of shooting.
Right. And he has special
D10,
weapons
2d8,
and
and
special
2d6.
ammunition. Right.
Yeah,
Okay.
I've got my revolver Harry. So
Right.
D10, 2d8, and 2d6.
Okay, so
10,
he's added
2d8,
together
and
his physical, he's added together a distinction that it applied, his skill, he has a specialty in that skill, and he has an asset as well. So that is what, 5 dice?
that is correct.
Yeah. So he's got
So I'm
5
rolling
dice
now.
going on here. And he only is going to use 2 initially. He can spend power points to add more if he wants to. And I have to oppose him. So the way I oppose is very simple. If you looked at the character sheet, I have a 12 in physical, so I get to add that, right? And the Umbral touch definitely applies, so the 8. The Umbral Fury definitely applies, and the Druidic, which is this things of magical abilities, defense, and all that kind of stuff, applies as well. So when I'm doing attacks and defense, it's the same number for me. It's not necessarily the same number for you, right? For me, it is. So I get a D12 and 3D8. I have to roll that and oppose him. All right. So I have done so. Now, in truth, because I'm the one attacking, I roll first. That's how the game works. Now, I roll the 1. Now, I do have a couple of dice sitting here, but I'm not going to spend them yet. So, what that 1 means is GOP has a choice. He can either take a PowerPoint or he can take a complication. Now, complication is to either take something in the environment and make it useful to you, therefore gaining a dice from a d6 dice to add to your pools for it, or having something that is causing obstruction or something to me. Which once again just adds a d6 dice to your pool. Now, GOP, which would you choose?
Could I make it so she really needs a lozenge?
No,
And
no.
okay, well then, I'm gonna take the PowerPoint.
Yeah, usually you take the PowerPoint because we go through them a lot. You need them. So he gets
Mhm.
a PowerPoint for that. And if you look at the dice, he has just without spending any points, he has an 8 and a 5 here with off on the 10-sider and the 6-sider and an 8 level effect. Um, if he wants to go that direction. Since I roll first, he gets to see my number, and my number is a 16 with an 8-sided effect for my defense. Um, and therefore, he knows he needs to get a 17 to beat me. He can't do that as it stands. So, what do you want to do, GOP?
Um, I think I would like to throw in a hero dice this time around.
You
I
sure
think
you
that'd
don't want
be
to spend a PowerPoint just to add that 5-sider?
okay. It's only one then to add, and then it's two if I want to re-roll.
That's right.
Right? I'm
That's
just
right.
trying to remember.
So
Okay.
as he's
Um,
sitting right now, he's looking at a 13, right? If he has that 5 in, that's an 18, and that's certainly higher than my 16, right? So he would win, right? And that cost him 1 PowerPoint to do that. You can spend a PowerPoint to take any of your dice and add it to the total. You can do that. You can spend 2 PowerPoints to re-roll one of your dice, right? Once you have passed and okay, I'm not spending any more PowerPoints, you can't. But you can always throw a hero dice on the back end, but we wait until the end to use that. But you can always put a hero dice if you've earned them. But as it stands, with him spending 1 PowerPoint, he can beat me and do damage.
yeah, I'll do that.
Okay.
So
So he does. And his effect die, as you see here, is an 8-sider. Now you can also spend power points to up your effect dies as well. I forget how many points that was. No one's really used that yet. But whatever. So we'll just go with it as it is GOP. So she has an 8-sided a stress die on her. Now what that means is every time you roll to attack her or to defend against her, you get to add that stress dice to your pool. So when it comes your turn to roll here, which you're going to be after her, are going to have an 8-sided dice extra in your pool because she's stressed. And if you get her to a 12 stress, and then you get another 12 stress put on top of it, she will be KO'd or dead. That's how it works. Okay. So GOP put a shot on her. She lets out a scream. She doesn't like it. And then she's going to do what banshees do, and she's going to use her special ability to kiss GOP.
Oh,
Yes,
all the ladies want to, so
that's true. It's that Panther cologne, dude.
it really is. It
Sex
it
Panther
works
cologne,
so
dude.
well.
It
Hmm.
does. And as you see here, under her special effects, she has Banshee Kiss. And I have to spend 2 power points to do this, to steal 1 step of physical stat permanently on challenge
Oh
roll.
no.
Now, that's brutally difficult. I mean, that's brutally harsh. Now, I do need to score a hit to do it, but that's a permanent reduction in your stat, right? A permanent reduction in stat. Now, normally I do that, but I only have 2 8-siders left from last week that I'm sitting on. So I could spend those. I could do it, but that would leave my doom pool completely empty. I don't want to do that. And of course, I might not hit him anyway, because I have to hit him to do that. So I'm just going to do a normal hit right now and see if you guys roll some ones and give me some love so I can do it. But I'm just going to do a normal roll right now. So you're lucky, GOP.
Thank you. Every once in a while, I have to be lucky.
It's
So
true.
yes.
But I decided to put that in GOP because it's reminiscent of the old first, second edition D&D. Man, those rules were brutal, right? And
Yeah.
I like that kind of thing because that's a permanent reduction, right? Anyway, she's not. She's just going to touch you in a very angry way. Am I going to do the touch, or am I going to put some magic behind that? No, I'm just going to do the touch. So as you see, I have a D12 and I have 2 D8s. I'm not going to use her magic. I could have added another D8, but I'm not doing that. She's just mad and she's going to touch him, try to burn his soul. All right. Once again, did I roll any ones? No. All right, so she's reaching out and touching him, and that is a 12. I've rolled a 12 with a D8 stress potential. GOP, go ahead and defend yourself.
All right. D10, 2D8, and a D6.
And did you add my D8 stress?
No, I didn't. I'll add that right now.
Yeah.
Thank you for reminding me. Oh, look. Well, there's a 1 for you.
Oh, thank you.
It's your
So when
favorite.
you guys roll a 1, you give me whatever dice that is, in this case a D8, gets added to my Doom pool. My Doom pool can be spent on power points like you guys have. I can also use them as hero dice, etc. And I can do some other special things too. So I like it when you guys roll 1s. And as you can see, this is why we need to see each other's dice. This is why we need this software. But Other than that, are you able to defeat my 13? And therefore, a 14,
Yes,
or
I
excuse me,
am.
12? Yes, he is.
Uh,
Uh,
and with a D10 effect.
and with a D10 effect. So that's more than enough, right, to protect themselves. In these kind of cases, the effect doesn't necessarily apply. If you're doing a skill and you succeed at
Oh,
it, you
yeah,
want to
that's right.
see.
I forget.
Right, and
Yeah.
you want to see how well you succeeded at it. The effect die illustrates that, right? In combat, the effect die is really the damage you're doing. He's not doing that. He's defending himself, right? And unless I have a special power that allows certain amount of damage to bleed over, then that's where, which I haven't used yet, but that's where an effect die would be useful, because if your effect die is equal or higher to that bleed number, then you're not affected at all. Because some things are going to do damage to you even if they miss you, right? This character is not that. This monster is not that. So I take a reach out. She's screaming. She's loud as hell. And she just tries to touch him with her mistiness, and she misses. So it is your turn, Mike. You have a Bazul in front of you, and she's enraged.
Uh, I'm assuming I have a handgun, so I'm gonna take it out and shoot it at her. What statistics are added for
You don't
that?
need any,
Okay, it just
unless
goes.
it's an asset. It doesn't mechanically apply, right?
No,
Okay.
So
I
you
think
have a
I think he
weapon.
just needs.
All right. I
Yeah.
didn't know if I have to roll to see if I hit her.
You do. You
No,
do.
no, no.
Yeah.
You do. So I think what he was trying to say was he just wanted to know what dice he had to roll.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. I'm sorry.
What's on top of
I
that?
mean, the gun doesn't apply because you didn't make it special. So it doesn't
Okay.
add dice, but that's okay. So what we're going to do is take your physical dice.
Okay.
You'll take whatever distinction applies and is higher, which is probably the soldier. We are shooting a gun, so it makes sense, right? So that's
Yes.
a D10 if I recall. So we have your
Yes.
physical die, your D10 for your soldier distinction. What is your shoot? What dice are in that?
Um, I don't think I put anything for shoot.
Yeah, no, what
Something
So
you
decent.
wouldn't that
you
be a
really need
4?
to straighten that
All
character
right.
out.
Yes.
How
Well,
about fighting? What did you put in fighting?
well, I can't run up and punch it or
No,
slap it
because
with
you don't
my
have that
Well,
neck.
special
let's
ability.
say if you have a knife or something or a sword on you, which you could have.
You could
I
have.
don't. You know.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Would you have a fighting skill?
Well, I will then assault it with my knife,
Well, hold on a second.
which would probably be more
What is the dice in your fight?
in my fight.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now keep in mind when you were building your skills, you had to take 6 of the skills, different skills, right? And bring them from a D4 to a D6. Then you had
I
a
just got a lot written down. That's all. So
Oh,
I'm
I
like,
see. Oh, that's fine. It's it's your first time
uh,
playing, but you had those 6 skills, plus you had another further 9 points to apply to skills, and each point is a step up. So it's hard for me to believe you wouldn't have had at least a dice or two applied to your shoot, seeing as the main combat in this game.
Or fighting, because I mean, you could be a close range
Yeah,
fighter.
yeah, he could be
That's
a close
possible
range.
too.
That's true. Yeah.
uh, I, I don't know. Maybe I just wrote this all wrong. I
That's okay. No,
apologize.
no, no. Let's fix it. Let's fix it right now.
Mhm.
Erase. Well, don't erase. You have the skills, right? All the skills are written down, right?
Yes, I have
Okay.
my skills written down.
Okay. So you have all the words written down. Next to each of them, please write down a D4. Go ahead and do that right now. Just erase everything. Take those all those skills, every single one of them, plus a cult. Make sure that's written down too, and put a D4 in all of them. Just write down 4.
Okay, so I got D4 in all of them
Okay. Now choose 6 of them to make a 6.
to make into a D6.
That's right. So
Mhm.
6 of them are going to be stepped up by 1. Just go ahead and choose 6 of them.
Move.
And you're a detective, so they're going to probably be things that are applied to detection. Now you want perform because you're a special power, so add that too.
It's all right. Every, especially me, went through this several times.
Yeah, no, it's not. It's
Yeah.
okay. It's no problem whatsoever. It's good.
Okay,
So
I
you
got
got the
6 down.
okay. You got 6. All right. Now you're going to take 9 points, and each point is a step up. Right. So if you have a skill that is still a D4 and you spent one of that 9 in there, it would make it a 6. If you spent 3 points in there, it would go from a D4 to a D6, a D8, a D10. Right. So you have
Mm-hmm.
9 points to apply, and they all represent a step up in dice. So you have all your skills are at D4 and 6 of them are at D6. So 9 points are going to be applied as you like. And the only restriction you have here is only one of your skills can be at D12.
Well,
That's the only
I have a
restriction.
I know something that could probably simplify this a lot. How about I just use a pre-made character for right now, and
Well,
then we'll
no,
figure out.
well, we can figure it out. Okay, we can do it real quick. I can help you. All right. So, what did you put your 6 in? What did you put your 6 in?
Move, sneak, perform. Blah. Let me repeat that. Move, sneak, perform, fight, and know and shoot.
That's perfect.
Good.
Okay. So what I would do, seeing as you're now, here's the question: you would have been trained in shoot and fight anyway during your initiation, your training, right? So it's fine
Hmm.
that they're both sitting at 6. And that's perfect. But one of them you should be more specialized in. So, do you want to be a shooter or you want to be a close combat guy? You choose.
A shooter. Let's
Okay,
just do
shooter.
shoot.
Let's take one of those points. No, let's take 2 of those points, 2 of those 9, and put them in shoot. So make your shoot a D10. Okay.
Okay.
What is your occult right now? It's either
My
D4 or
occult.
D6, right?
I believe my occult was a D
Well, right
was a
now,
D6.
did you put one of the 6 points in one of the 6
Oh,
upgrades
it's
in
a
there?
D4.
It's
It's
a
a
D4.
D4.
Okay. But it was a D10. So therefore we need D6, D8, D10. So you're going to spend 3 of your 9 right there. So make your occult a D10.
Okay.
Okay. We have 4 more points to spend. Easy enough. What are the 4 skills that are most important to you think?
Uh, probably sneaking.
Okay.
Um,
So what's your sneak right now? A D6 probably, right? You said it was a D6.
yeah.
So
Is
spend one of those points to make it a D8.
okay.
Okay. Your notice probably needs to go up too, and you spent one of the 6 in the notice, right?
Yes.
So bring that up to a D8 as well. Okay.
All
And you
right.
have one more point left, and that point you put wherever you want. Just take one of the dice and step it up one,
All
anywhere
right.
you'd like.
We'll put one up on no.
No. Okay.
Actually, no, we can't because that's already a D6.
No, you can. You have one
Okay.
Okay.
point.
All
You can
right.
put it
All right.
anywhere.
I'll put that up to a D8 then.
Okay,
All
D8.
right,
Now,
awesome.
what I want you to do is I want you to take a specialization in no. Okay. Now, what this is free. This doesn't cost any extra points. So that specialization in no, just choose any field of knowledge and write it down, and then put D6 next to it. Anything. It could be forensics, it could be espionage, it could be biology, computer science, or whatever.
I'll do computer science. Why not?
Okay, computer science, and then right next to it, D6. Okay, so anytime you're doing anything with computers, you get to add a D6 to that, no, as well as your no dice, which is sitting at a 6, I think you said, or 8. So it's just an additional dice, right? Now, what you're going to do, because we had your special jacket, which you put up to a D8, so you spent 2 of the 5 on that. Let's spend another point, and let's give you a signature gun. Okay, we're going to give you a gun. So whatever kind of gun you want, doesn't matter. You choose the gun and maybe even name it, but write it down, that gun, and then put a D6 next to it. So anytime you use that gun, you get to add that D6 to the pool also. So go ahead and do that. Doesn't matter
Make
what
Okay.
it
kind
like
of
a
gun, is irrelevant.
yeah. You can do a silencer too if you want
Yeah,
to be
All
more
sure,
right.
sneaky.
that's fine.
I have that down. I'm just gonna have a basic gun for right now.
So just
So it's
gun and then
signature gun
D6. Signature
D6.
gun, D6. Yeah, perfect. And then we have 2 points left. So what I would do is choose 2 of those 2 of those skills and put specialization in them. And all that is a D6. You're just getting an additional D6 when you're doing that specialization. So for instance, with your sneak, you could write down in shadows, for instance, or in plain sight, in a crowd, right? In a crowd would be great. But just choose some kind of specialization of sneak and then write down D6 next to that specialization and do that one more time to another
I'll do
skill.
in plain sight since I kind of pretend to be other people.
That's fair. So in plain sight. So and D6. And then choose one other skill and give a specialization to it and add a D6. So if you put a specialization in move, that would go into your initiative and make you even faster, right?
Right. We'll put that into notice. Maybe
Sure.
better
That's good.
ability of seeing what's in front of me. What are you doing, cat? Gosh. Hold
Yeah,
on, give me a
cats.
second. My
Cats are
animal's doing something. She's getting stuck on a cord.
So notice cats
yeah,
with a
cats.
D6.
Notice.
Yeah.
D6. Okay. All
Oh,
right.
okay.
So there we go. We're good. We're good. We're good. All right. So let's go back to what we were doing here. And where was I? Oh yeah, I was over here with the banshee. Alrighty. So now it's your turn to attack this thing. So what you want to do is you want to put your pool together. So you're going to shoot it. So you need your physical. What is your physical dice?
My physical dice is it's a 10. So
It's a
I have a
10.
10
So
sided dice.
there you
Yes.
go. So you get a 10. And then
And then my shoot.
Well, your distinction now. You've got your
your
physical
distinction
ability.
is next. Yeah. So
Right,
what distinction? Soldier, probably, right? That's a D10.
Yes. My
Okay.
Umbral soldier.
Right.
Yes. So that's another D10.
hmm So we have 2D10 so far. Now, what is your shoot skill?
And my shoot skill is it's a D10.
So there you go. That's so 3D10 so far. Is there any specialization to shoot?
I
Probably not. I don't recall me
Anyway,
saying
I'm
that. Okay,
clicking
that's
on
fine.
something wrong.
And
I have
then
a plus my signature gun gives
you
me the
have
D6.
that. And that's your last thing, any kind of signature assets. And you do. You have a gun. So that's a D6. So what you're going to do is you're going to roll 3D10 and 1D6 to hit this thing.
Okay, here we go.
Okay, perfect. All right.
16.
So you rolled pretty low, but
Oh,
it is a 13. Excuse me, an
he needs to
11.
roll an 8. It has an 8
Oh,
on
you
it.
have to roll an additional 8-sider. Just click on the 8 and roll it separately. It has a stress dice on it. There we go. Okay.
That's good.
That's good. All right. So we have a 16. All right. And let me go ahead and do my defense,
The
which
D10 effect.
my defense is a D12. It is a and 2D8, right? Yep. All right. So you're sitting at a 16 right now, and I have to roll first anyway in this situation. So I would have rolled. So I have a 16 as well. So you don't have enough to beat me, but you're very close. So what you'll do is spend one of the 2 power points I gave you to add one of your dice. Now, obviously, you want to be able to keep a higher effect die in this case, so you probably use that 3 on the 6-sider. So you spend one of your power points, and now you are sitting at a 19, which is higher than mine. Now I have dice I could re-roll if I wanted, or I mean add stuff if I wanted, but I'm not going to in this case. So you defeat me, and your effect die is a D10, which is higher than the D8 already on me. So she now has a D10 stress on her, not a D8, a D10. So every roll you guys make against her, you add a D10 to the roll, right?
Right.
And so go ahead and describe. You let a shot off at her and you hit her. You hit her well. So describe it.
So what did you do before? What was done before? Sorry. I just want to stay on track with this. But
GOP.
yeah, GOP.
I had already shot her once.
Okay. So I'm gonna just pull out my handgun, and I'm assuming that it's a little past me, so I'm gonna shoot it to distract it from GOP,
Oh, that's
like up
nice.
towards its upper area.
Very
All
nice.
right, cool.
That
All right.
that is all.
All right, so it's and it lets out a scream from being hit again, and it does have thank you. It does have a D10 stress on it. Lady, this thing is coming
Mm-hmm.
at you, particularly GOP. It seems very interested in GOP, and or excuse me, Lions, the Chicago boy. What do you want to do?
I'm gonna try to finish it off with a headshot, of course.
All righty,
Well,
let me make my
there you
roll.
go.
This is
So I
okay.
will just go ahead and make my roll.
Would you make your roll first on a defensive thing? I thought you roll after.
Oh no, you're
I mean,
right.
I
You're right. You're right. You're
doesn't
right. Yeah, because
matter,
she's
but
initiating combat. Yeah, I'm sorry. Go ahead, lady. Which is too bad. She would have got 2 power points. Oh
mm-hmm.
well.
Next time I'll
Whoa!
Blame
just shut up.
GOP.
It's all my fault.
It
But
is.
that's actually a
It is.
pretty
All
good
your
roll.
fault.
That is a good roll.
Decent roll, you
if you
know.
look here, Mike, she is sitting on a 14, right? Did you add a D10 stress die to this roll, lady?
Yes, I did.
Oh, good. Okay. So she's sitting on a 14, but she doesn't have an effect that die high enough to injure this thing further. So it's not very effective.
No, no,
So therefore, I don't think I would pour power points or hero dice into this. But let me go ahead and make my roll, and she might get lucky.
no, no. The way that it works
Take free.
is it has to match. Like you get that extra dice because if you don't have any dice normally that could hit
No, it doesn't
someone.
work like that. In this case, she could choose to take the 2 8-siders. Is she? Well, is that a 2 10-siders or? Oh, it is 2 10-siders. So it would bump it up. I'm sorry. So she has a 14. There's a D10 effect in there. She could spend. I'm sorry. I thought that was an 8-sider. So lady, um, you
Mm,
have a 14 with a D10 effect, which is what you need. You could spend PowerPoint or two to add these other dice into the total if you'd like. Okay, no. So it's a 14,
Yes.
and what did I roll here? I rolled a 18. So
Hmm.
she fails. Now, there is for players, there's an additional level of chance in the game.
Hero dies.
Now, she can stop with her loss here. She could stop and her failure actually here, not loss, and take a PowerPoint and be done. Or she can sacrifice that PowerPoint and re-roll. And we both have to re-roll again. Players can do that. I can't do that. Lady, would you like to take the PowerPoint or re-roll?
I think I'll reroll. That good with you?
Yeah, of course.
Here we go again.
Okay. So here now she's gave me a 10-sider. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Okay.
Yeah.
But she has herself a
Well,
12 with a D10. Now she could spend a PowerPoint to add that 3 in there to make it a 15 if she wanted.
Yep.
You going to do that? Do you have PowerPoints to spend?
Yep.
Okay, cool.
Yep.
So I have to get a 15 or 16, sorry. And I do not. I get a 14. Now, like I said, I could spend things, but I'm saving that to kill you later. So she hits me, and she hits me with a D10. I'm already sitting on a D10 stress. She equaled that stress, so what it does is steps it up. Now she's on a D12. So every time you guys attack her, you add a D12 to your roll. And if someone else can put a D12 on her, she's out
Well,
because she's at the max level. So if you put another
Or it has
D12
to
on
be
her,
stepped
she's
up
out.
again.
Well,
mhm.
no. She's not a god. Those are the only ones you have to
Right.
deal with D20s with. And it goes back to the top. GOP.
Okay, I'm going to do what worked the first time and shoot her again. So she's got a D12 effect on her, so it's
She
going to be a
does.
D12, D10, 2D8, and 2D6.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well, I've got to use that 12. I got to use that as my effect die.
you do. You want to get her
So,
out. Yeah.
um, I'll do the 12, and then I'll add that extra 4. So I'll make it a 16.
16.
I'll
So he
spend a
has to
power
spend
point.
he has to spend a PowerPoint to do that. All right.
Yep.
So I will go ahead and I didn't come at you as hard with her as I could have because I didn't put her druidic magic in play. I didn't do that. I
Mhm.
just touched him, which my fault. So here's my defense, and I fail. Okay. So GOP takes the Banshee out, and even though it's not a minion, it's still just a monster. Therefore, he does kill it. So go ahead and describe how you kill it, GOP.
I aim a shot right down its throat, and it's like, you could use a cough drop.
Wow. Wow.
Hmm.
That's
Wow.
funny.
Yeah, I think Chicago guy would have said lozenge.
Well, I said lozenge earlier. I should have said it, but oh well. It works either way.
Fair enough. Um, and this thing disperses in a howl, and its misty form dissipates in front of you. Now, you guys kind of look around, see if there's any other of them. You don't see it. You do know that from your studies, and of course, Jake knows this. His cult is higher. That they usually are solo predators anyway. So you guys kind of gather yourself together, make sure everybody's fine. Lady Hex didn't even blink. She just sat there and watched you do what you do. And you guys continue on. Now, over the next, I'd say an hour and a half, you guys are traveling along, following this creek. The creek gets bigger. It becomes a brook, and the brook becomes almost a river. And you guys are following along, and off in the distance, you can see what looks like some kind of ancient ruins. And although you've heard howls and noises and you've seen all kind of flitting fairy creatures here or there, nothing has hassled you directly. Although you feel like things are kind of off to the sides watching you. But you come up to this image here, and it's the only structure you've seen. And it's stone pillars going into archways, but the archways are disappearing into being tree. It's a weird thing. And the light here is much more twilight, and this must be the summer court. And sure enough, as you guys get a little closer, you see coming out of what seems to be an illusion and you have the eye of a mirror, but you're not using it. Right. So um, uh, you see elven warriors, very, very Tolkien-esque elven warriors in full armor, come out and bow to you, and just they don't say anything. They just kind of wave their arm in for you to go through that entrance you see there.
I give him a little polite nod. Like, I think we're going this way then. All
Yep.
right. Yeah. There we go.
All right, in you go. And of course, a couple of attendees pick you up, and as soon as you pass through the archway, you find yourself in I guess I call it a palace, but it's gigantic. It's more like a city, but a city palace, right? And you are led along by a couple of attendees. They're quite polite. Their English is horrible, though. It's pidgin at best, with a very heavy accent, but they are trying to be cordial to you. As you're walking along, you see people going about their day, doing business. There are all kinds of stairways and magical elevators and magical escalators and all kind of stuff. This place is impressive. It's even being to New York or something like that. This is more impressive inside this structure that you're in. But lots of people doing their thing, and everyone is kind of mouth agape as you guys walk by with a demon, Stygian demon in tow. It's like that's probably never happened before in this particular place. This keep in mind this is a Seelie court. This is not an unseelie court. But nevertheless, Eventually, you guys go past a gigantic, I don't know, cafeteria. You walk through the middle of it, and there are literally hundreds of people in here eating and chatting and discussing. It's almost like an eternal banquet. And everyone is dressed the same, just like that ambassador was, in these kind of silky robes and blouses and pants. And it's not of the current fashion, it's an old fashion, but everyone's beautifully dressed. And they're all quite beautiful. Elves are known for their beauty. And you pass by this banquet hall, and you're taken into a pair of doors that are so large that you can't see the top when you're near them. And they open effortlessly, however. And you come into the main court throne room of this palace. There are several hundred people in here jockeying for position to talk to a man who is sitting on a throne ahead of you. And you are lucky. Because Oberon is in session. He's not always. He moves between the four courts, and usually it's his consort that runs the day to day. Here in the summer court, that would be Titania, of course. But Oberon is actually in situ. So, welcome, Lord Oberon, King of the Ishi. Now, Oberon's a little bit different than some of the other Ishi. Here, you have two Seelie courts and two unseelie courts, and that simply means good and bad in a very rough way. And they tend not to like each other much. But he is the lord of all things, Ishi, everything. So he has a consort in each of the courts. Here, like I said, is Titania. And as you guys approach Lord Oberon, he nods as you're coming up, but he doesn't speak. He lets you speak first.
Well, I mean, I'm not the representative, although I feel like it would be within etiquette to introduce the lady. Um, so I'm just I'm hoping I'm doing proper etiquette. I don't know what their etiquette would be, but Your Highness, I am here I present to you Lady Hez of Stygia.
He nods at you. That ambassador lady who left you in the forest comes from the side and comes toward the dais where his throne is sitting upon, and she just stands there quietly. And Lady Hez looks at you and she nods to you politely, and she goes up and she starts talking to Lord Oberon. And explaining the situation, and you guys know, and you get a little detail here. um, that Malak believes that they need the champion to defeat Lord Roll and get him off the main plane, the mortal plane, because the champion has the power to deal with extreme level Veil powers, right? And the only person who can do that is Merlin. Malak knows right well Merlin's not dead, and the only people who would know where Merlin is you, and that's why I'm here. Of course, she's very courtly. She knows exactly how to talk to these people, but in essence, that's what she says, just in court speak. Um, and Oberon sits and listens quietly. He doesn't really show much emotion one way or the other. And the ambassador lady says nothing. It's not. It's almost as if she's never even seen you before, the way she's acting, right? Now, whilst the Stygian my brain's not working, courtier, is speaking with Lord Oberon. Do you guys interfere or interject at all? Anybody?
That would be very. I mean, we are here to escort her.
We
That would
are
be
not
very
Tower
horrible.
7,
Well, no, I was actually expecting you to do something dangerous.
but I
I'm
am being
shutting
very
up.
aware of our
Oh,
surroundings
that's good.
and
That's
other
good.
people.
Would you like to
I
start a
said
war, Mike? You could do it. You can do it. I know.
you
What'd
really
you say?
could.
What'd you say just a second ago?
I said you
He's
could.
giving us.
I'm giving you the opportunity to mess up.
Cause chaos.
to make a mistake.
Oh, I'm just trying to pay attention to what's happening around us.
Which
Very
is a
Trying to
smart
make
thing.
sense of this foreign place.
It is very foreign, but and of course you know what an elf looks like. You've seen Lord of the Rings or things like it,
Yes.
and it's very much what you imagine an elf to be. This is literally elf land, but so you guys let Lady Hex do her thing. She's sent here for a reason, right? Lady Hez,
Hmm.
and he does listen to everything she says, and then when she ends and curtsies to him, he says. You are very well spoken for a Stygian. Of course, you are the first Stygian I've ever actually spoke to. Usually I face you in combat. Nevertheless, thank you for coming. And he bows to her. Why should I care what happens to the mortal veil?
What does she say? Before, I don't want to interject unless I have to, but what is her
You
response to that?
you notice that she's very controlled person, right? More than likely, like I said, she's spent her entire life in a court. So, she's well accustomed to dealing with these kind of people. She is a little bit aghast at that statement, though. She doesn't really know what to say.
I'm surprised she wouldn't have expected something like that from elves, but
Well, she's probably never ever met an elf.
true, true. Uh my apologies, Your Highness, for interjecting here. The mortal realm is oftentimes a object of much desire for many of those who live in the Vale. For uh, easy to see on reasons. If any particular group were to get their hands entirely on the mortal realm, uh, they would be able to concentrate their forces elsewhere and annoy noble people like yourselves, which obviously nobody wants that. So by having us be a object of desire that is not attainable to those particular other groups, you keep their focus on something else. Can I do a, a roll for that?
You can.
Okay.
Let's see here. What should be the challenge rating? To be fair, Oberon is rather indifferent, so just make it an 11.
Okay. 2d10 or 2d12, d10, and 3d8. 12, d10,
Now,
and
before you
3.
do that,
Mm-hmm.
make that roll. I want to introduce another mechanic to Mike. Mike, you can assist each other, and when you assist each other, you add. I think it's a D6, right? GOP.
Yes.
Yeah, you can let GOP have an additional D6 for his role because you're helping him. Now, your occult is high enough because you're sitting at a D10, right? Mike.
Yeah, I think
Yes,
we
Yeah,
bumped
I
him up
believe
just
yeah,
now.
so.
I think it's a D10. So your occult is high enough that you're not an all-knowing. A D12 would be that, but it's very high. You know right well a very important point to what kind of clicked in your head when Oberon said that. You know that as with all demons, because this is technically elves are a type of demon in classification, just for an ease of understanding of the difference between the two groups. Uh, all of their children are born in the mortal realm, every single one. When they are born, they immediately kill their children and reconnect their spirits to their body, making them elves. That's how they reproduce. So every single person here around you, and there's hundreds of people in this room hushed, listening to this conversation. Every one of them was born in the mortal realm. All of them.
That's an interesting note.
And you
Uh,
know this, and therefore you can assist him and give him another die.
okay, I will assist him. Uh,
You
can you
whispered in my ear.
explain what
Yeah.
you were? Yes, I will go up to you and I'll relay my knowledge to you.
And I convey, yeah, I convey that it would, considering that it is the birthplace of all peoples.
Would that not
That's
be taken as rude in front of the elves?
It would be a slight.
It's
So you're
almost
tired of having children?
yeah,
what?
That's
that's
what
how
No,
I
Max would say it.
No.
No, that's how Max would say it. But yeah,
oh, that's
it's
not
almost
how I would say it.
it's almost impossible not to insult an elf.
Yeah,
That is a
Yes,
challenge
I
in and of
have
to itself.
any
I
gesture is form is rude.
Exactly.
use my amazing social skills to do everything I can not to insult these
Right,
people.
and he gets a
Say it
D6
in a
added to it because you helped him. And like I said, because they're elves, I put it in an 11 because he's indifferent, like I said. So normally that would be like a 7, right? But because they're elves, I put it at 11. They're just
all right.
everyone's lower than them, right? So he makes his roll, and look at all those dice. That's 7
Oof.
dice he got to roll, right? And he gives me love, which I appreciate.
I'm gonna re-roll that d12 because
All
I
right.
just don't want you to have it.
Well, are you going to re-roll it, or are you to re-roll the whole thing? Oh, no, it's a skill check. Sorry.
Yeah,
Yeah, go ahead and spend your 2 power points, and you can spend 2 power points to re-roll. So go ahead and do that. So I'll take the D10.
I just yeah, I just don't want you to have that d12.
That's fine.
So
Be like that.
that's better. Okay.
It is.
So I'm going to have 18 to hit with a d12 effect.
Okay. Okay. That's higher than my 11, so he succeeds, and he does it
Oh,
brilliantly with the D12 effect. Matter of fact, Oberon is rather impressed with a mortal of so. But then again, you are an Umbral, but he is rather impressed with you. Actually, you can tell by his. He actually shows like emotion for a nanosecond.
mhm.
But you certainly impressed him. He begins speaking. He says, "Well, very well spoken, agent. Um, we don't have direct access to Merzin, but we do have his wife, and
Um. Oh, sorry. I'll let him continue.
I see no reason why you can't talk to her." And then, as he says that, another person walks onto the dais, just brazen as you can be. Her hair is bright orange red, and it's not on fire, but it looks like it's on fire. And
Sure.
she's stunningly beautiful, elf, with tattoos all about her. And she strides on and she says, "Husband, don't I get a say in my own court?" And Lady Titania herself walks onto the stage. Now, probably the only person here would know this, maybe because she's had nearly an hour to do research. So I'm sure Max is up on the summer court now. You know where you're going, and Lady Titania for Max as well as Jack or Jake is notoriously what's a good? Let me choose the right word.
Troublemaker?
Yeah, but that's not the word I want. Oh, damn it! I can't. My vocabulary's not working today. She is
I'm glad I
very
can interrupt you then.
she's capricious. Thank you. I get it back. She's extremely capricious and troublesome individual. And he looks over at her, and you can almost see the wind go out of him, as it were. He says, "Oh yes, of course, dear. How would you like to interject into this situation?" Am I not? I'm not showing. Let me come back over here. We have Lord Oberon and Lady Titania comes up, and she is wants to have her say in this. Technically, she is the queen of this court, and when he's not here, she is the person who makes all the decisions. But he is here, but he's deferring to his wife. And she says, "So they want the bitch then." And she's looking right at you three when she says that.
Any help that you can provide would be most helpful.
Well, you can't have her, Oberon
Uh,
says, "Well, I don't know that they need to have her. They simply want to speak to her. Is that not correct, agents?"
that should do just fine. Yes.
And Titania says, "All right, fine, but I haven't had fun in a while. You'll have to defeat a champion. It's just the policy."
Uh, well, we did just
You don't
defeat a
even get
banshee.
that out of your mouth. She instantly
Okay,
waves her hand,
cool.
and the throne room changes. She is extremely capricious creature, and
Mm-hmm.
you are standing in a plane of cosmic fire and space. You don't know where you
Oh,
are. It's very weird. There's a tree off in the distance. It's almost as if you're standing in a painting. And you hear her voice. You don't see anybody around you. It's just you guys. Lady Hez isn't even here, by the way. It's just you three. And she says, you hear her voice somewhere around you in the distance. And, hmm, what should we have you deal with? Oh, yes, we haven't had fire in a while. I like fire, husband. And you hear his voice in the distance. I know, dear. You shall face a fear him. And with that, you have a flash of bright light so much that all you can see is white, and then it comes back to the scene. But there are a number of sexy elf ladies who have, unlike Titania herself, they have actual fire hair and fire coming out from all around them and an aura. And these things don't seem to have much thought in their head. They just attack you. Are you guys getting that effect? Is that coming across?
yeah,
Yeah.
I see it.
I see it.
Sweet. Is it coming across on the? Oh, it is.
Yes,
Sweet.
it
Oh,
is
yeah.
Yeah.
moving. Well, it just
Well, it
stopped
stopped
now, but
moving now on
yeah,
me.
but it
It's.
was going.
Oh, I blame GOP. Okay, no, I just
Yep,
need
it's
to
all
do
my
But
this.
now
fault.
it's
Okay, now
going
it's,
again.
well, it
I mean,
started moving.
yeah, I got it back. I got it back. Okay. All right. So, this is your battle. Once you guys win this, you'll be able to speak to Merzin's wife. You will entertain the queen of the summer court, whether you like it or not. So, initiative. These things are now, Mike. This is a different example of combat. These are minions. Now, minions work differently. First round at least, they're going to be way more difficult than they will be later. But every time you score a successful hit on a minion, because there's many of them, right? But every time you score a successful hit, they don't get stress dice. Instead, I take one of these 10-siders away. When all four are gone, you defeated them.
Okay.
Okay. I am looking at with these things. A 20 for their initiative, so they're not particularly fast. GOP's first, then you will be
Well,
Mike, and then me.
Mike needs to. We need to readjust it because his score should be different now
We'll
than
do it
before.
later. It's okay. You guys
Okay,
go
that's
before me. That's all we need to know.
fine. Okay. Then I will. I'll do my thing. Let me pull up my shortcuts. Combat D10, 2d8, 2d6. Okay. 10, 2d8, 2d6. Ooh.
And he's just explaining what he's doing.
All right. So,
What do you mean?
uh, well, let's see. I have to take one of them out. Do I have to do a 10 or is it any damage? I forget now. It's
Well, these guys don't have any armor, so it needs to be a minimum D6. You can't use a D4 for this if for minions.
oh,
Yeah.
okay.
But
Then
you
I'll
don't
do
have
a
D4
seven.
anyway, so it doesn't matter. They don't have
Yeah,
armor, so
17 with the D8 effect.
okay. So 17 with a D8 effect, or a D6, it wouldn't matter in this case because we're dealing with minions. Now, you notice with their power, here that they have on their sheet. They're pretty simple. They're going to be rolling 2d6, and they do have fire shields, so you need a 6 or higher. You do need a 6 or higher, but the fire shield also applies into their attacks and stuff. But um, when they have a special effect here that's different. It's called reform. So every 5 rounds, their pool is regenerated by 1. So you really have 5 rounds, 4 rounds to defeat these things, right? So if not, they start regenerating on you, and that's going to be trouble, I think. But nevertheless, let me make my roll to oppose him. So it's each of the minions
17.
together. No, it's much higher than that.
Oh
For
no,
my
I mean
roll.
I'm not.
Now,
Yeah.
this is why minions are brutal in the initially anyway. Is all my minion dice get added together plus my abilities, right? That apply. In this case, it's defense, so that everything applies. So I get 5d10 and a d6. That's brutal, right?
Yep.
But as you guys start chipping away, it becomes easier and easier, of course. But 5d10, damn, that's brutal, dude. And I
Hmm.
also get a d6. So let me make my roll.
Oof. Well, that's a 20.
That's a 20. Yeah. And
So,
this, yeah. So you could spend a hero
uh,
dice on it if you like.
hmm
You
I
only need
could.
you need a 4. So
Yeah, I'm gonna spend a hero dice. That would, because I need to knock them down. At the beginning, because it's gonna impact them throughout the thing. Okay, so I'm gonna do. I've got one d8, so I'm gonna roll that d8 into this.
you need a 4 or higher. And you
That'll
get a
do it.
6. So now I could do things over here, but I'm going to take the first hit without applying any of my doom pool. So he scores a hit, and that takes one of the tens off. So I only have 3d10 plus my abilities left. Next is you, Mike.
Awesome. So I'm just doing my action.
Yes, you are. So basically, these things are running around or floating around, and they're coming at you. They're going to kind of burn you with fire. Is what they do. They are literally creatures of fire.
Oh,
GOP is kind of getting in his stance and takes a shot at one of them and drops one. Right.
I'm going to follow up with a second shot at the one closest to me.
Okay. Go ahead.
All right. Just make sure I can figure this out. So I have a D10 to shoot, and I get a plus D6 at the end of that.
So you're gonna get your ability, which show your physical dice on your
Oh,
ability.
yes, which is a D10.
Okay. Then you
Okay,
get
and then you're
probably your soldier, which is a D10. I'm sorry, GOP. Go ahead.
no, that's fine. I was doing what you were doing, but
And then
so
I am my Umbra Soldier ability, which,
Hmm.
yeah, that's a D10 I already added, right?
you got your first your ability D10 is physical, and then you have your distinction D10, which is the soldier one. So that's two D10 right now. And
Okay.
now we're gonna go down to your skills, and we're going down to your shooting.
My shooting is also a D10.
Okay, so we're at three D10. And did you say you added a specialty in shooting
He
or no?
did not.
uh,
No.
Okay.
no.
All right, and then you have your signature asset, which I believe is a D6
Hmm.
for
Yes.
So
this.
3d10 d6. That's right.
Yep,
For some reason, I couldn't find a D6.
it's all good.
Oh no.
Oh,
All
I
right, so
go.
I get a six-sider, which is basically a PowerPoint for me. And you have a 9. Now you could spend a PowerPoint to put in that 2, but that would leave you with a 4 effect. Which these are minions, so that it wouldn't work. It needs to be a D6, so you can't do that. You don't have any hero dice yet, so there's not much you can do. Now I'll go ahead and make my roll. Just in case you get anything off of it, so let me go ahead and do that. Now, GOP took one of them out, so I only have 3d10 plus my 10 plus my 6. So they're a little weaker, right? All right, and I'm way, way high. So, what you're going to do in this situation is re-roll. Normally, when you get beat, you could just take a PowerPoint and be done, right? But you might as well push this. So you're not going to get a PowerPoint, but you're going to re-roll. So just you see here on that dice you just did, there's a little re-roll button on the lower right. Just go ahead and click it.
Oh, I didn't know that was there. Oh, it disappeared. So
That's
I would just
okay.
re-roll
All right,
normally then.
3d10 and 1d6. Yeah.
Yeah. Oops, I added 4. There we go. I had it pre-readied anyways.
All right. Very
All right.
nice.
I
Now
got an 18.
that's better. So you got yourself a 10. Now you could spend a PowerPoint to add that 4 in to make it a 14. And you have the 6 effect is enough to take on a minion, so it's good enough.
I'm gonna
So you could do that.
I'm gonna go ahead and use my PowerPoint.
Okay, so that puts it up to a 14. Now I'll make my roll. Okay, and I am above that.
Mhm.
So you're not able to affect it unless you could put a hero dice on it, which you don't have yet. You
No.
haven't earned one of those yet. So there's nothing you miss. You shoot wide. The thing dodges to its left, and it's kind of smoking, well, potentially smoking in on you, because it brings it to my turn. Now, who is this mask going to affect first? Like I'm going to attack you all with all of it. So I'll do like this. 1, 2 is GOP. 3, 4 is Mike, and 5, 6 is Lady. So let me go ahead and roll. It is you, Mike. So I'm coming at you. So
Okay.
these things are going to attack you. So it's they have 3 of their minion dice left, and pyrokinesis. The fire shield is for defense, right?
Okay.
And this is still round 1. So I basically get 4d10 dice. So okay. These guys are coming into you, and they're literally trying to wrap their fire hair around you and scald your skin. So I rolled a 15 here with a D10 stress die. So I got a 15. So you need to defend yourself. So the way you do that is your physical, probably your soldier again, and any kind of defense you
Fighting.
might have, fighting. And I don't think he has a signature asset that would help him. So it's going to be your physical, your soldier distinction, and your fighting dice. Go ahead and roll that together.
Give me just a second. So that would be a D10 for that. D10 for my soldier.
Mhm.
Make sure. And then what was the last one I need to
Fighting.
compete with? Fighting.
Fight. Yeah.
Fight. Okay, that's a D6.
So 2d10 d6.
Yep, here we go.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
kind of low.
No. Yeah, and you
I
don't
have
have.
cursed dice no matter where I play.
That's okay.
You can challenge it once, but
You can challenge it once, and you probably why not try? Or you could just take the damage and the PowerPoint. It's up to you.
I'll take it for now because I feel like I'm going to do it again.
Okay, so take a PowerPoint, and basically what happens is you have a D10 stress on you. Okay,
Okay.
so anytime I roll to attack you in the future, I get to add 10 to my dice. It's the way it
Okay.
works, whether I'm attacking or defending. Now, with a D10 stress die, you're not taking any trauma yet, meaning you're not truly damaged. You're singed, you're exhausted, you're bruised, things like that, but it's not permanent damage at all. If I hit you again with a D10 or higher, then you're going to be at a D12 and on the verge of being KO'd. But if you get to that D12 stress, you take trauma dice. Trauma dice are real damage that take time to heal. Broken bones, lost eyes, limbs, things like that. If your trauma dice gets to a D12 as well, you're dead. That's how
All
it
right.
works. Okay. But right now it's just a D10, which isn't great, but you're not truly damaged. You're not truly injured yet. Anyway, so that's my attack, and they're successful. They are scolding your skin, and it's not good. Scalding is not good. Lady.
My turn.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's closest one to me. I'm trying to uh kinetic punch it
Mm-hmm.
further away from me.
Okay.
So I hadn't got this one done up.
It'd be the
And then,
same. It's just when you get to level 8 in a power, you gain an additional 1 PowerPoint expenditure to do something. When you get to 12, you get another free. These are free. You can buy more
yeah.
special effects with experience, of course, but you do get 2 free. You get one at 8 and one at 12. So you definitely
Okay.
have
Does
a
a
second.
cult come in on this?
Sure, that's your way that you focus
Yeah.
your attack with telekinesis. Telekinesis, yes.
Okay. And fighting skill comes in on, so got that. I think
No,
this is everything.
fighting skill does not
No,
come in.
fighting
The occult
wouldn't be
replaces it.
appropriate for that.
Yeah,
Oh, really?
yeah. You're using cult instead
Oops.
cult instead of fighting or shoot. You use occult. It's that's how it works. Yeah.
Yeah, so for
Okay.
this, you should have
So
your
Fishing.
mental
mental.
ability,
Yeah.
your whatever your umbral distinction is,
Yep.
and
Occult
then
plus any
occult.
specialty plus your TK level.
T Kelly's
Yeah.
10,
And I
Ooh,
know you don't have any special
808,
artifacts for
8.
telekinesis, but if you did, that would be added too.
Yeah. I think it's 2 and 2. Damn.
Okay.
That is
So I will take that.
16. No, 15.
Um, that's not a terrible roll though.
It's not.
I can
It's not.
add
It's
a
15
3.
with a D10 effect.
That's an
Yeah.
11. Or excuse me, a 7. That's a 15 with a D10. It's not bad at all. So
Hmm.
let me go ahead and roll my defense, unless you want to spend some power points.
Didn't. That's a 16. Is that y'all adding 8 and
That,
7, right?
yeah, it's a
Yes,
No.
15
it's 15.
with the D10
Yeah,
effect.
it's a
Yeah.
15.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
So
spending. I
I
don't
wouldn't
want this
spend
thing
anything.
near me.
Yeah, just
No.
chill out for a second. Uh,
Oh,
so you pick up a PowerPoint,
Thank
and
you.
I fail. So I could add dice to this, but I'm not. I'm going to save it.
and that would mean that lady you picked up some hero dice too. What D10s then?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So that's an
How
8.
many?
She got a 15, so she gets one 10-sided hero dice, lady. You get one hero dice,
Yep.
10-sided, and one PowerPoint, and you hit me. And like I said, in this case, they're minions. It doesn't matter how high the effect, just has to be a minimum 6. So you take that off. Now I have two 10-siders left. And back to the top, GOP.
Okay,
So they are at a.
D10
You've cut them in half
shooting.
so far. There's half of them.
There's 2 of them left.
Hmm.
Okay.
Ooh. Okay, well, I'll take the 17 with the D8 effect.
Do you want to spend any PowerPoints in that or no?
17's pretty good. I mean,
It
I'm
is.
not saying that you couldn't beat it, but
No, it is
I'm
pretty
not
good.
gonna.
I'll
Yeah,
make
not
my
gonna
roll.
waste it.
So let's see. I get 2 of these, and I get 2 of these. So, oh,
I've
excuse me.
got
No,
one
no, no. That's wrong. That's wrong. That's wrong. Hold on a second. So
three
1,
tens
2,
total, and
3, and a 6.
yeah.
Okay. I'm going to
I get.
re-roll that. I'm going to re-roll that.
Oh, okay.
So that 10-sider is getting re-rolled. Don't roll another one, you bastard. Okay. It's not.
Ooh.
It's an 8. So that gives me a 15. Still not enough. I will spend a PowerPoint to add in that. I'll force a re-roll. I'll spend a PowerPoint to add it in. So unless you want to try to, so I'm sitting at a 14, a 20. So unless you want to throw a hero dice and end it here, you have to reroll. Or not.
That gives me a 50-50 chance on a D6 because that's all I have left. D6s. Oh, it's a gamble, but you know what? Yeah, I'm gonna do it. And if I don't, then I guess I'll have to re-roll. But
Sure.
all right, D6.
Oh, you
Yes.
lucky bastard. Let's see. Should I be an ass? No, I won't. I'll let it go. All right. So, between you and Lady in quick succession, you're able to drop two of them real quick. There's only one left, and it's very enraged, and it's looking at Jake hungrily. Jake.
Oh,
Sweating. Do I notice?
Oh yeah, no, this thing
Oh,
wants you dead, and you have a shot before I go.
all right. All right, I was just curious with my sneak action, can I like get away from it somehow, or it's really coming for me?
Yeah,
it's right on top of
we're
you.
All
in
right.
combat. Yeah,
All
we're
right,
in
great.
combat. Now, if you had
Uh,
taken invisibility or something like that, then we'd have to play it out. But no.
okay. Well then I'm gonna have to shoot at it.
Yep.
All right, I'm gonna draw my handgun out. That's 3d10s and a d6, pretty
Hmm.
much.
That's right.
Yep.
All right, here we go. 22 prime.
So
Okay,
you
so
have a total
14
of 14. Now you could spend a power point to make that an 18 if you'd like,
if you have any
because
left.
he has
I
no
don't.
hero
I don't.
There's
dice.
only
So
one.
Yeah, I don't think I have any left.
oh, you don't have any left.
Oh,
Okay, so
Yeah.
you're looking at a 14. So luckily for you, I only have one left. One of these fear him left. So I will. I have 2d10 and a d6 on my roll for defense,
ooh.
and I rolled a 16. So it's not enough. I win.
It's
Well,
close.
actually, no. Wait. You also rolled a 1.
Yes, but
So
he gets a
which
power
one of
point.
those? Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And you can make a D4 your effect die,
Right,
right?
right. So
Okay. I
um,
would say re-roll
this is defense
there.
anyway, but yeah, you should re-roll. Try it again. You don't get a PowerPoint, but you get a
All right.
PowerPoint for me though for rolling the 6, so you get that. And then go ahead and re-roll.
Nope, that was on accident.
That's
Don't
okay.
judge that.
Well, he's not rolling defense right now. He's rolling attack.
I know, I know. He should
Okay,
re-roll.
you said defense anyways. That's what I was
I
like
was talking
saying.
about
Wait.
my defense. Yeah.
Oh,
But
all
yeah,
right.
no, he should re-roll. Try again. Roll again. Yeah,
Oof.
it's better. Now
Slightly.
I do get a 10-sider.
But still 16.
It's
That's
still 16,
respectable
so let me go ahead and
for
make
the
my
D6
roll.
attack.
And
Oh,
I
all right.
fail.
Well,
Then you pick up another
and you get a
PowerPoint.
PowerPoint.
All
Awesome.
right,
Going
so
back.
go ahead and describe the ending of this combat.
As it flies towards me, I like tried to hastily position myself in a crouch position. I shoot it twice
Nice.
as I watch it drop.
Now, as the last of and when they die, they turn into ember and literally burn away.
Oh,
As
so
the
that like
last,
explodes in the air.
no, they don't explode. They just ember out.
Okay.
But once the last one is dead, the throne room comes back into vision, and you are once again surrounded by all these elves, and of course, more importantly, sitting in front of the Lord and Lady of the Summer Court. And Titania is not pleased. She wanted blood, and not her own. She wanted yours. Um, and unfortunately, you succeeded. And she's just bored with it, so she gets up and just walks off the dais. And there's some real pretty boy elf that she kind of grabs a hold of and tweaks his ear and kisses his cheek. Oberon just kind of raises an eyebrow and says, "Well done, agents. Follow me." He steps up and he begins walking. Several guards come in order behind all of you, obviously, and
Where is our person we're guarding? She,
she's
Lady Hayes.
quietly been there the whole time.
Okay,
She
go
is a
surround her.
courtly dignitary. She is not a warrior, right? Now, she's probably got some abilities. Obviously, she is a Stygian, but that's not her thing. She's literally a lady of the court. But anyway, you're led down, and you guys go through a couple of elevators and escalators. Along the way, Oberon just walking in silence. The whole time, the guards are, politely elven behind you. And unless you want to say anything to Oberon during this, 5-minute walk, I'll just go to the prison scene.
I'd do a quick little compliment of his. I'm trying to be, myself. So I'd give him a nice compliment of his, beautiful place here. You know,
He
just
says,
basically flattering him.
"Yes, I remember the construction. It took quite a long time." So you get down to the prison, and in this prison area, there are all kind of weird beasties in various different types of prisons, cells. You go to the end of the corridor, and there's where it's different cell door than the rest of them. It's actually a wooden door, wooden arch door. It does have bars and a little window up top, but it doesn't look like the rest of the place. He nods. There's a man already standing down there with keys. He's a jailer, you would assume. And he opens the door. Lord Oberon kind of turns to the side and motions with his arm that you may enter. And you do. Inside is not a very big room, but it's bigger than you would expect the cell to be, and it's well appointed actually. There's library shelves and nice comfortable couches and settees. There's like a old style bath and uh, various implements for it. There's a bed. It's not a bad prison really, even though it's still a gilded cage. And sitting in the room, looking at you oddly, like "Who the hell are you?" You see an attractive woman, albeit a bit pale. And as you enter, Oberon introduced you to Lady Faye, consort of Asmagog Theskelion. Now, you probably know who she is, but uh, yeah, you probably know who she is, but nevertheless, you can go ahead and ask any questions you like before Lady has her questions.
Um, I present the lady because I really I should take a back seat until I have to get involved. That's kind of the way, the probably the best way, because obviously I'm not the one who's making this deal. Like it should be the main people involved in it. So I'm going to step back and see what they actually say and what's exchanged, and I'll jump back in if I have to. You know.
Very
Um,
well,
I'm
and
thinking that is this going to be another lie to us? So I'm pulling out the eye of Mim and looking through it.
it's not Mim, it's Mimir.
Mimir. I'm sorry. I still won't remember it next time either.
You pick it
Mimir.
up and you look through it because you are the one holding it, and
Mhm.
this is what you see. Lady Theskelion here, Lady Thay. She is exactly what you see. She has a bit of a glow to her when the Eye of Mimir is on her, but other than that, nothing strange. Lady Hez looks exactly like she does. She has a little bit of glow too, but
Mhm.
as you would expect for a magical person. But whilst you're doing that, you also have, let's say, GOP, because he was introducing her up
Mhm.
there. GOP, of course, all of you would have a little bit of glow because you're all umbrals. GOP
Yeah.
is in the eye of Mimir. You see him, but it's not GOP. It's a demon.
Huh? Look at the other guy.
Normal. A little bit of glow. He's magical, so he has a slight glow.
I don't have a compact to look at myself.
There's a mirror in the room.
Would that work? Sure.
Just try
She'll
it.
like ease over to the mirror and look through the thing, look at herself.
You are a demon.
Because I'm
Gasp.
thinking everybody who's connected to the
A
Umbral is a
weird
demon.
one too. You can't classify yourself, but you're definitely demonic looking. And I mean, some demons, like elves, are a type of demon, right? They don't look
Yeah.
ugly, but you look like some scaly demonic thing, more akin to a Stygian, but not a Stygian.
She'll put it down. Oh,
Lady Hez begins her conversation with Lady Faye, you know it's very cordial and courtly in the beginning because they're both courtly ladies, during uh, that interaction, she said uh, Lady Hez was not aware that she had been betrothed or been married to the Stygian Lord Theskelion, and she you know she's kind of a dour person, this Lady Faye, but she says yes, it happened shortly before the dissolution. She says, "Oh, I'm sorry, it was long before my time." Yes, well, I have been here a while, she says. But Lady Hez finally gets rid of all the niceties and asks her question. Um, I'm here looking for your first husband. And she says, Merzin, why do you need him? And Lady Hez says, well, we have a bit of a problem. And she actually looks over to you, GOP, to explain what's happening on the mortal realm because you would know more than her anyway, right?
Okay, I basically, politely give her the whole rundown of everything that's been occurring. Or at least, the major points of it all.
Now,
So,
she nods her head. Hmm. Raul is very, very powerful. I have been out of the game for a very, very long time. Now, lady, are you still looking through the eye of Mimir?
yes.
wearing it like a monocle.
No, that's always the answer. When someone asks you if you're God, you say yes. Anyway, but you
I did
notice
say I put it away. I did say that
now.
too.
You're still using it. Retcon.
Okay, I'm still
Yeah,
using it.
retcon. You notice that she is slightly concerned, possibly, or some kind of emotion in regards to hearing Raul is on Earth. And in that, you see her visage shifts for slightest of a second, because this is a wickedly powerful wizard you're sitting in front of, wizardress, right? And she looks just like you.
Scaly and all.
Same type. You don't know what kind of demon it is, but it's demonic. That's all you know. You and
Uh-huh.
GOP and she are all demonic looking, but you don't know the classification. You've never seen it before. But anyway,
Okay.
she says, "I see, and you want the champion." And Lady Hez nods her head, and she says, "I see. Well, I know where he is, but you're going to have to get me out of here to get to him." Lady Hez
Uh,
interjects before you can and says the
okay.
elves will not allow this. She looks grim for a second. She says, I suppose they wouldn't. Very well. I'll have another thing that you can do. If you accomplish this task for me, I'll tell you exactly where my husband is. And she
Do.
says, she stands up and she walks across the room to a beautiful little kind of desk, we'll call it a roll top desk. She opens it up, she goes through a couple of drawers, and she pulls out a little locket, and she hands it over to Lady Hez. Lady Hez shows the locket to the rest of you. She says, This is my daughter. She is being held prisoner. I need you to find her.
Okay. Does she hand it to Hez?
She's pretty.
She is pretty. Her name is Bela LaFay. She's the daughter, of course, Morgan Le Fay, who you were talking to, the Morrigan. So she's a major problem, though. She says, "I don't know who has her."
Well, you know what? We're pretty good at finding things in people, and give you a hand with this one.
Very well. If you help me, I will help you.
Why are you here? Why
Betray.
have they imprisoned you? You betrayed them for some reason.
Well, I betrayed
Or
everyone.
maybe.
I did try to take
Mm,
over the world. You guys
yeah,
know who Morgan Le Fay is, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, Chester, that's before my time.
Welcome back there, buddy.
Welcome back, Tower.
Yo, yo, yo!
No,
Tower!
ye.
Oh, ye. I'm sorry. Okay. Yee, yee, yee.
All
Yee,
right.
yee,
So
yo.
we're going to wrap up from that point because we are past our time, but it's okay. We had a new player in. Um, and you guys are able to finish here. You kind of well, I'll just leave it right here in the cell room. I'll leave it right here. And I had done those things already. Yes, I did. So you guys are in the cell. You've been given a mission, and we will pick it up next week. So let me come back over here to the other side. Very well. All right. So Mike, what did you think?
I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah, it's very.
Besides me stumbling over my things, but I'll have it
Oh,
figured out by next time. I just gotta look over
He just
all the
thinks you're
stuff.
gonna have it figured out.
yeah, it's not
I
hard,
I,
really.
I will, because I build little cheat sheets and stuff.
Yeah,
Like
there you go.
it's easier when I'm looking at the source and then writing it down.
Yeah, no, that's the way to go about it. And the good thing with this game, I think, as well, it leans much more on your descriptive imagination than other games do. D&D doesn't care at all what a thing looks like. It's just roll the dice. This
Yes.
is all about the description and how you cleverly use your abilities to say. Because sometimes you might stretch the hell out of, well, I'm going to use this ability. Maybe I'll say, all right, go ahead. Or maybe I'll say, go to hell. Right.
Right.
But I mean, you can try. Right. Of course, a lot of the narrative and the cinematic description in this game is reliant on us, not just me, you too. Right. And that's nice. That'll get better and better as we go. You have any
Well, that's what
questions?
I want out of like playing D&D, where it's
Hmm.
more like everybody takes a part of it in a way.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. Any other questions for me?
Not at the moment. I'll probably message you if I have something.
That's fine. You can do that. And of course, GOP he knows his system well. He can help you, and then you'll come
Yeah.
back ugly, and I'll be mad. It's okay.
Right, I'm going to make him so OP. You're
Yeah,
gonna hate me.
they're gonna
It'll be
hate you.
great.
But anyway, you guys did get yourself through a couple of fights there. So you do pick up, and you did complete a part of the arc. So everyone gets 6 experience points for today. 6.
Awesome.
And for being able to successfully get and speak with Lady Faye herself, you guys also get 2 PowerPoints.
All right.
All right, so everyone
Good.
has 2. And keep in mind, Mike, every week when we play, at the beginning of every section, you'll automatically get 1 PowerPoint. That's automatic.
All right.
So you will have basically 3 or whatever. I don't know how many you have right now. All right, GOP, and Lady, any questions?
No, I think this is going along pretty swimmingly. Oh my god, if I could get Oberon as a contact though. Ooh.
Oh, dude, I'm going to make that's not the same as some, small winter court queen in Boston. That's not the same thing.
True, but I mean, if anyone can make that role,
Yeah, no, I
I could.
understand that. We'll see because
I'm not gonna
you're
say it'd be easy, but
yeah. Well, you already
it's
have a
worth a shot.
12 on your side. So you've already got 1 check in the box.
Mhm. it would be something. It would be worth at least the attempt.
I will say
For
that
like,
if you can get 3 12s, you can gain him as a contact.
oh, all right.
You have 1. You need 2 more.
Oh boy. Okay, well that's something to work on. Man, that'd be so ridiculous though.
hmm
So stuck up.
It is Oberon, especially within the Fairylands, right? But lady, any questions?
In my report to my bosses, it's going to tell very despicably how our escort left us there just past
Mhm.
the portal, uh,
She did.
leaving us very much in danger.
She didn't even
I don't know
acknowledge
what
you
it.
in court.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I mean, clearly she spoke to them because they knew you were coming, so she did something.
Yeah.
But yeah, she didn't want anything to do with it.
Yeah.
And
She's on
you,
my #1 hit list.
yeah, fair enough. But the only person who wasn't shocked to see a Stygian demon standing in the court was Oberon himself. Even Titania, when she walked up, kind of was a little aback, but she quickly got into her haughtiness. But we'll see. You guys are still in the court. We still have a little more play in here, but mainly, and of course, you have to come back. You need to figure out where her daughter is. Bela LaFay, daughter of the Morgan. And this is one of these AI created pieces of art. Man, that's getting
Oh, it
ridiculous.
is? Oh my
Yeah,
God.
I could
it's
kind of tell,
yeah. No, you
but
can
yeah,
kind of tell it's too good, right? But
I almost want violet eyes on her. Would be nice.
you could do
yeah,
it.
maybe.
You could change it. You could go in
You
just over
could.
the eyes
Yeah.
and edit over them. But
Yeah.
I'm glad you're using that AI art stuff because it is fun. Like from
It
everything I've
is,
seen.
and this is a stunningly beautiful piece. And it is AI art, but it is quite beautiful. And I looked around and chose this one because I of who her father is why she looks kind of Persian, right? And LaFay is a you don't get more Celt than more the Morrigan, right?
Yeah.
But her father is the reason why she looks like that. But nevertheless, awesome. Thank you all very much. Hope you had a good time. Keep in mind that in 2 days we will be back. I think we're doing another indie. I forgot the name of it, but it's always cool to watch the artists do the amazing things they do on Drawn and Quartered Ultimate Edition. And awesome. So we'll see you next time, guys, for Umbral Session 11. Later.
Goodbye.